I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
There we are. Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rock Knicks University, main man, Uncle Freezie. Welcome to the premier Knicks and the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. Salute, salute, salute to all my people watching on X. Salute to all my people watching on YouTube. I understand that our Knicks played the Denver Nuggets tonight. Let me do something real quick. Let me go back here to that. Right, so I understand our Knicks play. There it is. I'm just trying to do some technical stuff, y'all. Bear with me as I work on a technical thing so that we can keep maybe possibly keep trolls out. Maybe keep trolls out. Hopefully. All right. There we are. All right. There. All right. And there we are. There we are. All right. Ivory 10 is in the building. What's good? Andios is in the building. Rich boy, what's good, man? I see you. Yeah, man. Hey, Ivory 10 says, I know you don't like talking trades, but I think I might have the perfect 6-man wing that costs 2 dimes and a nickel. Oh, and a nickel, bro. I don't know. When you said 2 dimes, bro, I think I might have been with you. But when you threw that nickel in there, bro, I don't know. When you threw that nickel in there, bro, I don't know, Ivory 10. I don't know. And Ivory 10 says, He's 23 years old and he's finally scoring on a professional level when it comes to efficiency, ball handled like a point guard. I already know who you talking about. He talking about BJ Boston. He talking about BJ Boston probably. Where's he said? It can only be two names. Once you said 23, you limited it to BJ Boston and the dude from Portland. What's the dude, the light skinned dude in Portland? Y'all know who I'm talking about. What's the guy in Portland? I pretend to know who I'm talking about. Yeah, you talking about the kid in New Orleans, right? I pretend you talking about the kid in New Orleans, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. In terms of what the Knicks want to do, I think the Knicks roster is perfect. I think we just have to play the guys that we have. Everybody wants to play. So it's hard, man. It's hard getting minutes for everybody. Oh, Ivory 10. Man, you know Najee Marshall is my heartstring, bro. Ivory 10 is my heartstring, man. See, Najee Marshall is my heartstring, man. Dang it. That's my guy. I wanted the Knicks to sign him, but that we just didn't have the money to sign him, man. Oh no. Nah, hey. Nah, man. Hey, IKBM Dre will tell you, I've been in love with Najee Marshall for years. Maybe in the conversation, maybe something was lost in the conversation. That happens, right? You know how like you say something, a bunch of people talk in, and sometimes things that get lost in conversation. But nah, dog. I love Najee Marshall. I even told the Dallas Maverick guys that when they signed Najee Marshall, I was like, he gonna be better than Quentin Grimes, and they didn't believe me. They did not believe me. I was like, yo, he gonna be better than Grimes for y'all. Watch. Because he could play 4 positions on offense and defense. He could play 4 positions on offense and defense. Right. And I return, hey, maybe, man, maybe. But when IKBM Dre get here, ask him about me and Najee Marshall and see what he say. The Edwin asked about the Chris Boucher rumors, probably. Hey, it does. And in terms of me and Najee Marshall, I was trolling about BJ Boston. I didn't know you were going to say BJ Boston. I was trolling actually, but in terms of Najee Marshall, absolutely, man, bro. I love those do it all wings, man. And Ivory 10 says, Dre was on call. He was in chat when I brought him up. He knew who he was, but I think you didn't know. No, that's not true. I do. No, man. No. I've been knew who Najee Marshall was, bro. I promise you, bro. I was talking to them about trading for Najee Marshall like 3 years ago. I don't know everything, right? I don't know everything, and I don't want to take credit for everything. But Najee Marshall is a dude that I liked for a long time, bro. Right? Like for instance, BJ Boston, I hadn't been seeing him this year. I saw him in a game against the Knicks. I knew who he was at Kentucky. I wanted us to draft him over Quentin Grimes. But after he was drafted, after he went to another team, I didn't pay him no attention, bro. BJ Boston. Najee Marshall, though. Bro. Yeah, man. So what do you think BJ Boston is going to bring to a team? Like what does bringing in a BJ Boston mean? Like what difference? Like what type of difference is he going to make? I didn't know that. And out of Kentucky, you remember he was at Kentucky. He was at Kentucky with Isaiah Jackson from the Pacers and Oscar Schwebe. I don't know where Oscar Schwebe is. I don't know where he is. But I know that he was a Clutch client agency. He was at the workout that I don't know. I can't remember if Jericho Sims was Clutch, but he was at the workout where Jericho Sims hit his head at the rim, and people were like, "Oh man, I got to get him. He can jump out the gym." And the Knicks wound up drafting Jericho Sims. Yeah, man. Yeah, a bunch of them dudes, man. Yeah, man. I feel like the thing that the Knicks need to go after is a jumbo 6'9" wing player complementary to Precious Achua. Got to get that. Right? Like we need a guy built like Precious that does the opposite of what Precious does. Right? Like we need a wing player that can dribble, pass, and shoot at that size. Like a really good athlete that's about Precious's size that can dribble, pass, shoot, defend. Right? Be the opposite of Precious. Like how Precious is a rim protector, a really good athlete that may shoot sometimes. We need the polar opposite of that. Also, I feel like the Knicks need a big guard that can play make. A big playmaking guard. That way, when teams try to trap, blitz, bracket, zone Jalen Brunson, you have a big guard on the other side that can take advantage of the smaller guard that doesn't defend Brunson. Just that guard's presence on the floor stops teams from. Give an example. When we play the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young is on the floor. Trae Young doesn't guard Jalen Brunson. Their shooting guards. Dyson Daniels guards Jalen Brunson, right? Well, in that instance, who is Trae Young guarding? Daniel Barry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. In that moment where Dyson Daniels is guarding Jalen Brunson, who is Trae Young guarding? You feel me? They'll probably put Trae Young on Josh Hart. Jerry Fitz is in the building. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. Jerry Fitz says, I think Leon is going to bring in a rim protector. We miss what Mitch and iHeart brought to the table. And if Mitch isn't going to make it back, he may go get 2 rim protectors. So what do you do with Mitch? Jerry Fitz, what do you do with Mitch? If you go get in theory, if you go get 2 rim protectors, who are you trading? How much are you paying for them? And what do you do with Mitchell Robinson? I don't want to trade Mitch. Basically, is what I'm getting at. And Fitzy, are you saying this is what you like to do, or because I see you say, I think Leon is going to do that. I think Leon is going to do that. Is that what you wanted to do also? Mm, let him keep rehabbing. You can't trade him hurt. Right. Actually, you can trade him hurt as long as the injuries are disclosed. Right. You can't trade damaged goods and team not know. As long as the team knows what the injury is, then and it's disclosed, as long as the team knows what they're getting, you can trade them. It's the same thing we did with Porzingis. Remember, we traded Porzingis and he was still out with a torn ACL. We traded Porzingis and he was hurt. And Dallas was okay knowing that he was rehabbing and all that stuff. Now, if some things have changed, oh, you know what? You probably know that already. I think what you're pointing to is nobody knows what Mitchell Robinson's true value is since he's injured. That might be. Right. Yeah. I see I understand what you're saying now. I'm with you on that. In terms of a name, I don't know what name you would get for him, for Mitch. Right? Like or for anybody. In terms of name, I don't know what name the front office is going to get. Like, if you're asking me, like, who out there are the Knicks going to go after? I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. But in terms of what I think the team need, I think all our guards are too little. All of our primary ball handlers are 6'4" and under. All of them. And just doing something real quick, y'all. Bear with me. All right. Bear with me. Calm down. Relax. All right. Okay. Wait. Okay. All right. Just sent a text message to the crew, right? To let everybody know that we rocking. All right. And Ivory 10 says, and none of them have a handle like B. Oh. BJ Boston must have gotten good, bro. He must have gotten good. Yeah. Man, you just like that man hair. Gogo Batadze has fantastic hair. He has cabbage, bro. Gogo Batadze has hair. But if you're Orlando, why would you trade him to the Knicks and then to watch him help him beat you in the playoffs. Just asking. The Portland Trail Blazers beat the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, man. That's disgusting. Milwaukee is so done. Giannis had 39, 12, and 5, and they lost by 13. That team is so mid. They gave up 30 points to Denny Avdija. They gave up 17 points to Shaden Sharp. Portland just, yeah, oh my gosh. Tamani Kamara had, okay. Jeremy Grant and all that money had 8 points. DeAndre Ayton had 21 and 14 tonight. Yeah. IKBM Dre is in the building. Oh, Dre is in the building. Let me put this thing out here for Ivory 10 and IKBM Dre. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know if the Knicks need to make a move. I honestly believe from what the small sample size that I saw, and this is no shade, I think if we're asking about defense only, I think Pakam Dadier should be in the rotation if we're talking about defense. One-on-one defense. Not team I guess team defense, he's a work in progress with rotations. Houston beat Atlanta tonight. Amen Thompson had 11 points and 5 rebounds. Jalen Green went off for 25 tonight. Tari Eason was out tonight. Reed Shepard got a DNP. Trey Young had 21 and 9. Yeah. Houston's defense seems to be tough. I think Maxey went off tonight. Anthony Davis is hurt. Okay. Yep. About the normal. Dalton Connect went off for the Lakers. Tyrese Maxey scored 43 tonight on 26 shots. Kelly Oubre went off. That's the guy that I want right there, everybody. Kelly Oubre. That's the guy that I want. Nev the Disruptor is in the building. Salute. E. Gibson is in the building. Every 10 says, I seriously think that by the time the playoffs come around, if we don't make a move, the offense might be the challenge, not the defense. Ooh. What are you basing that on? Every 10, what are you basing that on? You basing that on dribble? What are you basing? Are you basing that on dribble, 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 dribble? That's what you're basing it on. Dribble, dribble, dribble. That's what I would. I think I'm basing it on um injuries. The only way this team stalls out is if we're injured. I think this team is too skilled, too talented to even consider. Right. Says still only have one guy who can do anything offensively off the dribble. You talking about Cat? Cat is the only player that I'm thinking can constantly get his thing regardless of what the defense is doing. Like you're not going to trap Karl Anthony Towns at the top of the key, right? You're not gonna put a guy on Cat and dare him to shoot the three, right? Certain things you're just not going to allow. IKBM Dre's in the building. Salute.
Salute, Freezie. Salute to the chat.
Aaron Glenn, huh?
We'll see. He puts on a good show. I mean, puts on a good face for the media. We'll see how it goes. Like I'm super jaded, Freezie. I can't get my hopes up. I can only hope. I done had my heart broken too many times by all these coaches. Freezie.
Somebody told me Jalen Milroe to the Jets.
Freezie, I will jump off the Verrazano Bridge.
Yes, face
tomorrow.
first. Face first, bro. Swan dive.
Oh my God.
Swan
Then they were
dive.
comparing him. Oh, like he could shoot up the draft board like Anthony Richardson. Anthony
Yep.
Richardson isn't good at football either.
No. And he's smaller than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, he's like a pint size. Well, not a pint out. Not pint size because he's still a big quarterback.
He's still big. Right.
But Anthony Richardson gets hurt every other game.
Yep.
For his play style. So what do you expect is going to happen to a 6'2" quarterback?
But the thing is, the difference is, I think Jalen Milroe is a winner. Anthony Richardson was just an athlete at Florida. Like he ain't never done nothing. He ain't did diddly poo squat nothing. But how about your Knicks though?
The Knicks looking solid. I think one of the things that people got lost about the Knicks when they were having their little lulls. Knicks literally went 4 weeks without having 2 nights off.
Right. Yep.
Four straight weeks. I believe the 17th of last month, well, December.
Yeah.
All the way until like the 19th of this month. They had an entire month where it was a game, back-to-backs on one night off. Back-to-backs on one night off.
Yeah.
And that takes a toll. It takes away from your legs. That takes away from practice time. It takes away from your coach figuring out what to do. Well, your coach meaning Tibbs, because we know he's a creature of habit. It takes away from his ability to find trust in guys because he develops trust in practice.
Right. He needs to see some stuff.
Yeah, he puts in new wrinkles with practices.
Right.
And like there's a reason why Shatman like dropped out the rotation.
Yep.
Then got put right back in it after like 2 nights off.
Yep.
He had a practice because Tibbs was like, I need you to execute X, Y, and Z, and I need to see it in a training facility.
He came back shooting too, bro.
Yeah.
Landry Shamet got on that floor, bro. He ain't pass up. You know he ain't pass up shots, bro?
No, you throwing them up.
Yeah.
Make or miss. He's throwing them up.
Let me so Ivory 10 is has been saying a thing from the start of tonight's live stream. He says Ivory 10 says I don't know anything about Najee Marshall, and he introduced Us to Najee Marshall.
Freezie been telling me about Najee Marshall since I met him.
That's what I've been trying to tell Ivory 10. Right? Ivory 10. Oh, I think Ivory 10 is trolling me because he know I like Najee Marshall, bro. That's what I think he trolling me, bro. He trolling me. That's what it is. I'm here for the laughs, bro. I'm here for the laughs, bro. I legit told who are we talking about when they were talking about getting players from New Orleans, and I was like, yo, I just settled for Najee Marshall, and it was like, who?
Who's that?
Yeah, man. Anyway, Najee Marshall's a good player, man. Either way it go, it don't matter. I don't need no credit or nothing like that. But he's
That just means Ivory has good knowledge of basketball. Either which way.
that means it just means Ivory 10 is smart. That's all. That's all. And I've been trying to ease away from the Najee Marshall thing. Like, yeah, man, whatever. Take all the credit you want. It don't matter. Najee Marshall's a good basketball player, but he's like, nah, man, ask Dre. Bro, I argue with the Dallas Mavericks dudes for like 2 years about Najee Marshall, and then they wind up getting him. Yeah, man. They were like, anyway, either way go. First of all, man, welcome back. Did you have a good time?
Yeah. I got a little tan. I had a good time.
Boy.
I had a great time. I spent some time with some family too.
Okay. Well, that's all that mattered then. Right. That seemed like the whole world took off like when you left. Like the Knicks beat Sacramento.
Freezie, I was at a resort on Wi-Fi watching a basketball game during dinner.
Oh my god!
I can't leave the Knicks behind.
Oh my god!
I just couldn't fit in the extracurriculars, my extra homework with the Blue Orange Tears family.
Yeah, man, you need to get a life, bro. You legit need to get a life.
Is that possible while being a Knicks fan?
No, it's not. It's not possible. It's not. But I'll tell you what I saw against Sacramento, and then it worked against Memphis.
Yeah.
So it goes without saying that Sacramento and Memphis both have two very speedy point guards.
Yep.
Right. Goes without saying. It goes without saying also that both teams get the majority of their points from certain dudes. Right. Like other guys on a roster can't get points in bunches. Like you have Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, John Morant. And when Ja's not getting his points in bunches, then now Desmond Bane has to be a creator. And Jaren Jackson has to take on the scoring load. Right?
Yep.
And the same thing in Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox, the mid-range guy. What's my DeRozan and Monk. Right? And when two of those guys in Sacramento were off, now you're being carried by Malik Monk and Sabonis. And both of them are streaky during the course of a game. When they're both on at the same time, they look dynamic. When both are off, they look
pedestrian.
Yeah. When you have to depend on Keon Ellis to shoot threes, you're struggling.
Yeah.
But the defense Tom Thibodeau employed, right? He sagged off De'Aaron Fox, sagged dudes into passing lanes. When alternate ball handlers got the ball, he pressured them into making decisions and forced them into turnovers. De'Aaron Fox couldn't shoot because of his hand. And in the same defense, John Morant couldn't shoot because he can't shoot. He's not a shooter.
Yeah.
right? And so that forced them into finding different means to get their offense running.
And
And-
we sped up their other players.
right. And those players aren't used to being sped up.
No, and I want to say even with that, the time that we had off, you could definitely tell we spent keen attention to having our rotations on point and playing on a string,
Right.
and not being afraid to have Brunson actually guard somebody at points.
Right. Yeah, his defense in the Sacramento game was commendable.
Yeah,
His defense was commendable in the Sacramento game. His defense in the Memphis game, he was guarding. I can't
the
remember.
rookie Jalen Wells.
No. He was no. I'm talking about the one possession. He was guarding a scorer. I think it might have been Bain or somebody.
Oh, and they tried to score on him and threw it off the glass. Like,
Yeah, or some. I think they turned it over. Like he had to reverse pivot and threw a pass, and the dude didn't cut, and the ball went out of bounds or something.
yeah,
I
that,
just stood up and clapped. Like, yeah, JB.
yeah, like at points you don't have to hide JB the entire game. Like you just give an effort because at some point you're compromising the shell of your defense by trying to switch every single time.
Yeah.
And I think we learned our lesson. Like, yo, if JB's gonna have to man the position, you can make sure you shade him a little help, and JB do your best to wall up and make them shoot over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Enclosed space.
Yeah, and
Height
yeah,
height is the enemy of space.
yeah,
Right? When you close that space, even if dude's 6'7" and you're 6'2", when you close that space, it's only 5 inches. But when you're sagged back and you're giving him a foot and a half and you're
yeah.
6'2" and he's 6'7",
And that, it's a practice shot.
yeah, it's a yeah.
And I think they've more or less became more trusting of having JB guard a guy, and then they shade more help. But you have if you're in the process of like wanting to shade help, you better have your rotations on point on the backside, and that's the thing I've noticed. Like we've been aggressive, we've been rushing guys, and then we've had our rotations on point on the backside. So when they do rush a guy to make a pass that's a little bit premature, the guys rotating on the backside are available to just deflect or get in the passing lane. And you don't really necessarily get to see that or develop that chemistry that early. And I saw a statistic like luckily we've had guys so healthy out of our starting lineup, like they've played like 1,600 like possessions or something like that.
Right.
Last year, like the Denver Nuggets starting lineup didn't play that many possessions. OKC starting lineup didn't play that many possessions.
And it's January.
Yeah, and I think while people get on them about like the minutes and stuff like that, and even rightfully so, I think there is a benefit to them developing chemistry and playing this many possessions together
Right.
because you have to expedite the process when you're going against units and teams that have a core and an identity that's been established for years and a chemistry.
Right.
And I think we're basically expediting the process of like, yo, we need to make sure we're at X, Y, and Z point of
Right.
our development as a unit before the playoffs come. And I
Right.
think they're God forbid injury, but I think they're playing so many possessions and developing so many reps with one another. It'll
Right.
basically be like them being together for 2 years at the end of this season.
Right.
And you're
Okay.
starting to see how it looks once they get time to get settled and develop the rotations and the chemistry and the offensive parts. Like you see it. Like we dropped 143 on a top five defense,
Yep.
and we made them feel basically helpless at points during the game.
And they were hot too, by the way. It's not just a random team.
They
They
won
were
6 in a row.
thumping teams. Yeah, they were thumping teams before they got to that game.
Kings won like 9 out of the last 11 before they came into the Garden.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think the time that we did get off was much needed, and I want to get this Denver game, but we have another 2 days off after that too, which is going to be even more beneficial,
Yep. Yep.
especially heading into the trade deadline, because I believe we played the most games in the league before we had that 3 day break
Right.
by like 2 or 3 games. We played like the most games in the league,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
now we're getting a little bit of a reprieve.
Some catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're getting a little bit of space. Like we went through that real tough grind, and you could tell, like, especially when like that OKC game in OKC where we ran out of legs,
Yep.
and then we had to follow it up and play the team that played like the second highest pace in the league, and we ran out of gas by the third quarter.
Yep. And then we went to Chicago for Derrick Rose night and lost.
That's who I was talking about. They're the
Oh, okay.
second highest paced team in the league. We ran
Right.
out of gas in the third quarter, and
Right.
our rotations weren't on point. And even then, they were just making shots, so we couldn't really do anything.
Right.
So it's one of those things where these guys are actually human, and they need breaks. They need a mental they need a mental break as well, especially
Right.
from the grind.
Right.
And them having like it almost feels like, even though they're playing really, really good basketball teams heading into the All-Star break,
Right.
they've also been getting 2 and 3 days off like multiple times over this span, and that's been helpful. Now they're getting another 2 days off before the Lakers game on Saturday, so that should
Anthony
be
Davis
helpful.
got hurt tonight.
Oh yeah, so that should be that. I'm almost like writing that down as a win, because I think they lost to like the Sixers.
Sixers. Yeah, they lost to the
Yeah.
Sixers. Yo, did I tell you about the Sixers? Did I share that with you?
Oh, what did you say about the Sixers? I missed that.
The Sixers are getting tired of Tyrese Maxey.
Well, I'll say you did mention that about like a channel that you were following, right?
Yeah.
Well, like
I
looking at
got
his
King. Yeah,
numbers.
I got King Green, and he didn't say it.
Yeah.
He didn't say it,
Oh,
but
you
in
talking
your
about the
chat,
chat? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, he didn't say it. King Green, that's my guy. He is the center on our content creation fantasy team.
Yeah.
Like because I think King Green is like 6'11" in real life. Yeah, he's 6'11" like in real life.
I hope he got some post moves, man.
Yeah, I mean he got no post. He too cool for that, bro.
You said that man,
Too cool for that,
that man, a pick and popper like Sam Perkins.
Yeah, that man he. Ivory 10 is
What's
in the
up,
building.
Bobby?
I came to defend my name. Came to defend my name.
What
What's
did
going
we
on,
say?
everybody?
What did we do to Ivory 10?
What's up, Bobby?
How's everybody doing?
Good,
Dre,
man.
it's good to
Good.
hear
It's
from
good
you,
to see you,
man.
bro.
I missed that fro. I missed the crew. How's everybody doing? I missed the
Good,
chat.
man. Good, man.
I missed the Tears Network. How's everybody doing?
Man, good.
Great. I'm great, man.
I see our Knicks are doing good. So what I was scouring all these bad teams, just like I was doing at the near the trade deadline every year, looking at these bad teams to see who they had available, and that's when BJ Boston jumped out at me. Similar to what I was doing when I found Najee Marshall when I brought him up, and Dre knew who he was, but I think you guys were so concentrated on Trey Murphy and Ingram, no one was thinking about the third string dude, and that's when I brought him up, and no one knew who he was. But anyway, besides that point, I think
Nobody knew who Najee Marshall was.
No, they did. Yeah,
the general consensus, not you, Freezie.
No, actually, Freezie was like, "Who Najee? Who's that?" And that's when Dre, you were like, "Oh, he's just like kind of a utility
There's
guy."
no way.
Yeah. This is the beginning.
No way, bro.
Yeah, we have it on the Belange. I may
10.
go scour
I
the
need to do
Belange
some
tiers.
college.
What
college did he? Right now? What college did he go to?
Me? I have no idea where he went to school.
He went to Xavier, right? He's a high school kid. He's from Cincinnati. I know all these things, Ivory 10, because I know who Najee Marshall is. I didn't look him up.
Okay, I'm going.
It may not have been Freezie, made by being somebody else on the panel.
That's what I'm saying, because sometimes stuff just get lost in the conversation, bro.
Possibly, but what's important about this is that I believe that BJ Boston is next year's Najee Marshall. I'm telling you, he is now playing at an efficient level that he's never played at as a pro. He's a legitimate bench scorer right now, and probably the best looking sixth man he's the best looking six man I see out there on the market right now that could be available. That's making less than $1 million a year.
He's making pennies.
Yeah, Sherwin said he from Atlantic City. That's not what I saw. Maybe I'm wrong about Najee Marshall. Am I wrong about Najee Marshall? I thought he was from Cincinnati.
I don't know where Najee Marshall is.
See, I'm gonna go back in the books. I got to go back and listen to about 12.
I'm gonna look him up, right?
But about the BJ Boston thing,
yeah,
he figured out a way how to earn playing time by actually playing defense, because that was the only way he was going to get on the court.
He is from Atlantic City. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's actually been known for kind of his defense and his length for his whole career. He's kind of been known
coming into the league and as a prospect, he was known as just a bucket getter. He was basically an offensive dynamo.
Are you talking about BJ Boston?
Yeah, BJ Boston.
Yeah, he was a bucket. He was a bucket that couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
He was a scorer. He was just similar to Najee Marshall. Najee Marshall was just kind of learning how to shoot. He's never been a shooter. And BJ is a really good scorer. He's a very good scorer.
But Najee is
I think
Najee is more of a high
I understand your point where you gotta like scour the league.
Like Najee legit can run your offense, set things up and things like that.
Did I think disconnect? Am I there?
Can put
Dre, we can hear you. You can't hear us, Dre. I don't know if you can hear us, but we can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you, Ivory. I think Freezie may have frozen.
I didn't freeze. No, but, I'm super good. I can hear.
But I think the thing you got to scour the league for like talent that you need to dig up and unearth, and this that fits within your core. And I think it wouldn't shock me if like the Knicks tried to target like a Javonte Green or someone like that, because they might not necessarily want to pay the price, but a Javonte Green that might offer you some versatility and ability to stand in for the odd injury from one of your wings. Say Josh went down for a few games. Yeah. Say OG went down for a few games, or Mikal. Well, Mikal never gets hurt. But you get my point. Like, you want a decent stand-in and fill-in that can play consistently and is a Tibbs type of player. I think BJ Boston can fit that mold. I'm not sure exactly what he's shooting from the field this year. I haven't really checked in on him in a few months.
44% from the field, 35 from 3, 34.5 from 3, about 35 from 3.
I believe that the early parts of the season when they were going through injuries and they were finding time for him to play, like he came out and he brought a spark and he played defense. Like, that's the thing that got him on the court in the first place. Yeah. And then the offense always came along.
He's not the Swiss Army knife. He's not the Swiss Army knife that Najee was. He's not the Swiss Army knife that he was, but he is a flat out 6-man type of scorer.
Yeah. And I think we do. I'm not gonna lie. I think we do need one of these microwave guys, but I also can see the other perspective that like we have the highest scoring starting lineup in NBA history right now. And we kind of replaced that use of a traditional 6-man that can orchestrate and create offense by just plugging in one of our starters and rotating them around, rotating our bench around them. And, and I understand like there is a need for that, because at points like, bro, sometimes you just need a guy to get a bucket. Like at points we've needed Campaign to stabilize the situation for us and just be a scorer.
He's tough to really rely on, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying BJ Boston is like the most reliable guy in the world either, right? I mean, this is his first time showing us that he's a real pro, but he is a legit dude that can handle the rock under pressure better than any guard we have, or as good as any guard we have. And he's a flat out scorer. And when I look at our bench, I still see us potentially having a problem at some point or another with only having one real ball handler on the team that can play with Brunson. I'm sorry. It's really actually we don't have a ball handler who can play with Brunson, because we really don't play Cam with Brunson that much, because
you don't like Karl-Anthony Towns?
Too smalls.
No, I don't like Karl-Anthony Towns trying to run the offense. I don't like that. I don't even like seeing him dribbling out on the perimeter, taking it to the hole, because he always winds up on the ground a lot. I know he can do it, and I know he's skilled and he's great. I don't like seeing that, and I also don't think that that's going to work versus a very high pressure defense where you really.
So let me stop you right there. Do you like to see OG Anunoby dunk?
Of course.
You like to see Mikal Bridges in the mid range?
Yeah, but this is not the point. That has nothing to do with who's
that's absolutely
who is handling the ball under pressure. If
that's absolutely the point. The reason why these dudes, OG Anunoby in the Sacramento game had 5 dunks in the first half.
OG Anunoby
because Sabonis had to guard Cat on the perimeter.
You're talking about the starting lineup. I'm talking about the bench needing a scorer. And
I'm not. I'm talking about, you said that you don't like to see Cat handle the ball. That's what you said.
That's one of the things I said. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the, and that was the thing that I was focusing on. That's why I was saying stop right there when you were saying.
Well, yeah, I don't like. No, listen. I love when he's like posting and like doing but when I see him putting the ball on the floor trying to go through 3 people, that's not. I don't like that. That's when he's picking up fouls. He's risking injury. Listen, I know it's going to happen, right? But I would just rather us have another solidified threat with the ball in their hands other than Brunson. I don't think anyone on our team is really feared when they have the ball in their hands other than Brunson.
So I guess my question to you is like, where's that person going to play at?
That place he's going to be our wing off the bench that we've been needing, right? He's going to be the guy that gives the hearts a rest, and God forbid we have a wing that gets hurt. He's a guy that can stand in and come off.
And so he's going to replace Shamet.
Oh yeah, definitely. I see him as a much better replacement.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So now I'm with you. Okay,
yeah.
All right, I understand where you're going.
That's the position I'm thinking about. Not taking time from the starters, but really giving them a breather, and also someone who's going to put the ball in the hole off the bench. And he's 6'7". He's 6'7".
I'm more or less not really concerned about like a bucket. I do agree with the idea of having another ball handler that can play with Brunson. Like, if there was a perfect world, I would get Lonzo Ball on this team, but I don't think that's really even realistic or possible. So it's more or less like, I understand like needing a guy to get a bucket, but I also view it more like, hey, I do understand 100%. Like, you need another ball handler on this team that you're just comfortable where he's not going to turn the ball over underneath pressure. And I'm not sure if that's really going to be available to us, or they're even looking at that. But I would send a 2nd round pick or something for BJ Boston just to even have him on the team.
He's a good
backup. I don't believe
like,
he's going to go for anything more than that.
I think he's like an Oubre type. You know, he can shoot better than Oubre, but he defends a lot of positions. But he's also a little bit better scorer than Oubre. Oubre is a little bit better of a Swiss Army knife, but this dude is a little bit better scorer than Oubre. And you know, there's
Oubre
not many
can cover
like
more guys defensively, but the moment you start asking Oubre to make decisions is the reason why teams get rid of him.
Yeah. Hey, hold on for a second. Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real Anthony D. Anthony D is in the building. Salute.
I was waiting for AD to be like, huh?
That's only for Sundays.
Yeah, I was wondering, man, what's going on?
What's going on? Salute, Knicks fans. What's going on? I heard Lonzo Ball. I heard Cat. Like, oh boy, some spirited conversation. Dre, if we found a way somehow to get Lonzo Ball over here, oh my God. Oh my God.
I would book us for the championship
I
immediately.
would, I would absolutely open up the piggy bank to book that man a luxury ticket here, because that's all we would need.
Every 10, just like 3 months ago, we were killing Lonzo. But I guess he proven he back though.
Nah,
Well,
he's actually starting games now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I didn't foresee a cadaver in his knee making him actually play. That man got a zombie knee right now.
He
So
was
that's the unfortunate thing with sports, because I remember when they drafted him, and the talk was they drafted him over, Dan, Fox and whatever, and when Fox outdid him in one of those games, and people forgot that the
they
man.
they actually double team. They
Well, the man's mother had a stroke like a couple days before the game.
yeah.
No, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
That wasn't his game. That's not him.
Yeah.
You live to play with a dude like that,
Yeah.
especially as a big, because he gonna find you. If you had a dude like that off your bench, oh my God, you ready? You done changed the game. Just
I
even
mean,
just
is it
just look at what Livingston did for Golden State. If you want to go back just a little bit, look what
you
Livingston.
remember Michael Cooper?
Of course.
Yeah,
Shooting
You remember
ball.
Jerry? You remember Jerry Seasting with the Celtics?
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you remember Vinnie Johnson with the Pistons?
Yeah,
I think I think I think Ivory's on like a roll where we're definitely missing like a ball handler that's bigger than 6'4". Like that's probably the only necessary like missing thing that's on this team.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
Of- and it's probably it might take another transaction cycle to find it or to unearth it or to draft one, but that's probably like the only huge hole on this team, to be absolutely honest
A
with you.
ball handler that's a threat too when he gets the ball to do something with it, not just a guy listen, we all know Cam has done a great job for the Knicks this year, but I know you guys have to be getting as nervous as I am when he has the ball. I just, you don't trust him really. When you have a guy that's 6'6", 6'7", who can handle the ball and get around his man anytime and attract the defense, that guy's dangerous, really, really dangerous. And to have him coming off your bench making less than $1 million, you can pick him up for nothing right now. You can get him for nothing.
But those guys that you're describing, when they're actually consistent, they cost a lot of money.
Right. He's not there yet. That's what I'm saying. Like right now is the perfect time to jump on it. I mean, he's
To
just not
swoop in, and see what you have in him.
right.
But I think he's not guaranteed a deal next year. You're gonna have to like swoop in and probably lock him into like a Deuce type contract or something like that.
That'd be beautiful. Just look at him. I mean, for 20 minutes a game, he's putting up, double figures points a game at 45% from the shooting, 35 from three. I mean, he's just now. This is his first year doing it. I'll admit that, but this is when you got to get those kind of guys, before they break out. He's only 23.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just I think
Would Tibbs play him? That's another thing. Would Tibbs play him? That's the thing.
that's why I suggested like a Javante Green, because Tibbs would play him day one without even hesitating, more or less, because he's an older veteran and he does the things that Tibbs values, which is hustle, play defense, and shoot open corner threes. The other stuff.
But I think Tibbs would play ball day one.
Oh yeah, ball. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think he was talking about BJ Boston, but Lonzo Ball has a resume. That, remember, Tibbs has said this, and I'm paraphrasing, but when McCall was going through his struggles, he was like, he has a resume, he has a body of work, and I will let him work through his struggles. A rookie, and then he explicitly said rookies don't really have a body of work, or younger players don't really have a body of work. So with Tibbs, he'll look at BJ Boston's body of work, and he may see, okay, he's had a solid quarter of a season or half a season, I can't go with him over someone that has had a decent 5-6 year stretch of their career.
Right, but if we're comparing him to Shamit, I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Those are the only minutes I'm really referring to is like the Shamit minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes a game. This is his chance to be, to get some shine. You know what I mean? He's playing on a team that's not getting any attention this year. He's playing for a contract,
Yeah, he's playing for his NBA career, to be absolutely honest, because he was damn near out the league. I think he wasn't even on a standard NBA contract. He's not even on a standard.
He's on a two-way deal as we speak.
Yeah, so he's basically fighting his way to get into the league or stay in the league. Man, I will say this though. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse and not acknowledge how we've been playing recently. Because we basically went against two of the hottest teams in the league and just dominated them from tip. And even in the points where like we weren't really dominating at Denver, it never really felt like the game was gonna get out of hand. They cut it down to 16, and it's just like, okay, we'll just bump it back up another 10 points.
Yeah,
and see what you do.
We'll sag off Ja.
Man.
Did he look bad?
Man, we got to start crediting Mikal, man.
Yeah, but Ja looked bad. He looked like he didn't want. That's one of the first times I can remember a superstar coming into the Garden and just didn't look like he was ready to do his dance.
He didn't get a call in the first quarter, and that just made him look disinterested the entire time.
He just looked disinterested. I'm like, wow, he looked bad. He did not play. If I was the coach, man, I'm going at him hard after the game. Pause. Because you the star. You the star.
He had the worst plus minus of his career. Minus 41.
Maybe they went out the night before the game or something.
Maybe.
But the thing is, he's liked playing in the Garden before. I think he's put on a pretty good show before in the Garden. Granted, this team is a little bit different.
Yeah.
He ain't being guarded by Reggie Bullock. So it's
Where
a
is
little
Reggie
different
Bullock these days?
Not in the league.
Talk about a dude who never dribbled, boy.
Oh my God! Don't remind me.
Dre, I'm gonna tell you about that. Me and Hoodie Kev were courtside in Atlanta, or not courtside. I mean, I don't want to overstate, but we were in that angle, like in that corner where the players come out, like about 6 rows back.
By the tunnels.
And and we saw Derrick Rose get a loose ball and just throw it to Reggie Bullock, and he caught it like right between half court and the 3-point line and ran it in for the touchdown. He dribbled one time, bro.
Was this the playoff game?
Yes.
I think I remember this game. He refused. He wouldn't dribble.
Yeah,
we were going on a run. We were going on a run to cut the lead down, and we were like down 5, and then he did that, and then we lost by like 20 after that.
Yeah, he just, and Derrick Rose was just like, and the irony is that's the same game. Anthony D, that's the same game that Julius Randle saw Nerlens Noel in the corner wide open for 3.
Oh my God.
And he was like, oh God damn it, why is he in the corner for 3?
Don't
right. And the zombie, remember the zombie double team they were doing on Randle? Remember they was like, yo, Randle holding the ball too long, and his only outlet was to Nerlens Noel in the corner.
Oh my God.
And he passed it to Nerlens Noel, hand to the man.
He did not. He did left-handers such a disservice in that he set left-handers back a long way, yo.
Nerlens Noel legit has the worst hands I've ever seen from a professional athlete, bro.
Nerlens Noel might be the first NBA player to make it to the league with no thumbs.
Right, no thumbs, bro. That man got all pinkies, bro.
But Randall was so bad. I mean, he couldn't. It was just forget about the right side of the court. He couldn't see it.
No,
Couldn't see it.
And AD, and then the game, and during the timeout, and you can ask Jay Boogie this. During the timeout, RJ Barrett was so shook in that playoff game. Derrick Rose walked RJ Barrett to the spot on the floor, and he was like, "Yo, stand right here." Derrick Rose had to do that during the timeout. RJ Barrett was so nervous. I was like, "Golly, are you that nervous in a playoff game?" That's the game, and then game 4, we were up in a suite. Yeah, I remember when Tibbs benched Alfred Payton in the playoffs. You remember that?
Yeah, Tibbs was. I mean, keep it in a buck. Everybody wanted him benched before we even got to the playoffs.
4 months before that.
Yeah, we wanted him benched back far. You remember when Alfred Payton mom was coming after us on Twitter? Were y'all on Twitter? When his mom was coming after us on Twitter?
He was coming. Alfred Payton mama was coming at everybody. Who
Yeah,
said anything?
I retend, no lie. I said something on the Knicks One Drive. I said every time Alfred Payton shoots a broken backboard gets his wings.
No.
Right? I said that right.
Well, fans were losing it. You know, some fans was going after him and his, because I remember him. I think he had a brand new seat, and fans.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, fans was crossing the line. They was like they want some next. They want some next.
Right.
Like he was, you know what I mean? Like he was, just trash. Alfred wasn't that. Alfred was just put in a bad position from the previous management.
You can't have him and Alfred Payton and RJ Barrett.
No, because they can't shoot.
They can't shoot.
Especially at that time, they couldn't shoot.
Think about your starters: Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Alfred Payton, Reggie Bullock.
And that was the year RJ shot 40% from 3, and Randle shot 40%.
Him and Randle shot 40% from 3 because they had to.
Yeah. Fans was just overly killing that dude, yo. Just, you know what I mean? Like, Peyton could defend. He could pass the ball. He had a good synergy with Randle.
Yeah.
If nothing else, he had a good synergy with the best player on the team at the time, which was Randle.
Right. And he had a real life connection with Taj Gibson, Theo Pinson, and Reggie Bullock. Remember? And Wayne Ellington. You remember Wayne Ellington was there the year before that?
He wasn't that guy. And I don't know if fans somehow believe that a dude who signed like little more than mid-level. I think the Knicks got him for like 2 years, 16 mil, something like that. It wasn't a crazy
12 mil something.
It was 2 years, 12. It wasn't crazy, but I mean, when the fans don't like you, they don't like you.
Bro, you remember they cut him thinking that we were going to get Chris Paul, and they cut him to Phoenix, and then we had to bring him back.
Then we had to bring him back, and it was like, oh, buddy, it was worse.
Yeah, and so when you cut a player and bring him back, you can't trade him. So Alfred Payton had a de facto no trade clause.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, once they disliked you, it was it.
Yeah. AD, what are we gonna do at the trade deadline?
We're gonna get us a center. We're going to get us a backup center.
A backup center?
We're going to get us a backup center.
What?
It's additional.
We have a backup center coming. Why would we go get one?
Because that backup center, we're not sure that he can play 10 games.
Yeah, but that's not what you do. You don't go spend some assets to get a third string just in case your second string gets hurt.
Go get you another second string.
We already got a bunch of second string.
No. We don't got no. We got an undersized. We got an undersized Precious, who should be a part of the rotation, not the backup guy. Waiting for Mitch. Precious not. I know, but I'm saying, but they use him in time to time. He flirts with it, brings him out of it. It's a glaring need. I don't know why you don't see that. It's a glaring need. You don't know. What we heard about Mitch in the beginning of the season, we heard January. Then January went to February. Now February is looking like March.
Well, I can tell you, I bet that they are looking to replace Mitch if he's not going to be back. If they don't have any trust in him, I'm almost sure that they're going to look to replace him. But if they think he's coming back, I wouldn't spend any assets to replace Mitch. Not this year. Not in the middle of this year. No way. Not when I could spend those assets to potentially get something that I think I'm going to need more. I don't want to get a backup because I think a guy might get hurt. I'd rather go get a wing to play on my bench or someone who can handle the ball. I've been looking at backup guards, shooting guards who can handle the ball and also play with Brunson a little bit because I really think by the end of this year, defense is not going to be our problem. I really think second ball handler is going to be more of an issue and more of a challenge than our defense. I really believe that.
This is where I might push back on that, AD. When we get to the playoffs, our backup center minutes are going to be like 8 minutes, bro. You know, Cat going to be playing 40 minutes every playoff game.
I get it. Yes, I'm right there with you. But here's the thing: in the playoffs, defense wins in moments. In moments. I love Cat. You've heard me on these airwaves saying the sky's the limit for Cat. But there's moments where you're going to do situational, moves where you want the guy to be the backline defender, to be able to be as capable as the frontline defenders, and there's no weaknesses coming down that lane. I'm just talking about in moments. So even in those 8 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever, look what it did for Dallas last year. Again, at the trading deadline, Dallas did not trade for one big. They got two.
Well, PJ Washington, but there, I don't think.
No, I'm not even counting PJ Washington. They got three.
Gafford.
I'm talking about Gafford. They got three front court players.
It was Gafford, PJ, and who else? I mean,
what's the cat they got from was it OKC? The young dude who's hurt now.
Derek Lively.
They
drafted him.
Oh, okay. So I'm talking PJ Brown then. They get Brown and Gafford.
Yeah. PJ Washington and Gafford. Yeah, they acquired. But I'm saying, looking at it, like the best center that went out was the Suns already got him. I don't know who's actually available on the market that fits that void defensively, because all the other centers that are available are all offensive centers.
I just want another piece, man. I want another guy. I want another guy off the scrap, whatever. I want another dude. I do not trust Mitch Robinson being able to finish the way I hope, I pray, I want, I desire it. Knicks fans, there's not a Knicks fan right now that can say, yo, you'd sleep good at night knowing that Mitch is back.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't go there with you, AD. On that one, bro.
You would?
Huh? No, I like Mitch, bro.
I know you do. You sleep well at night knowing that Mitch is back?
I don't know. At night I can't sleep. I AD, every time you say that, I say the same thing. I feel like you be throwing me the alley-oop.
Shaq to Kobe, baby. Shaq to Kobe.
Right.
I can't. You can't. Come on. You know Mitch is. Come on now.
I feel like it's fair and unfair at the same time, because the only reason we talking about it is because he got injured by Embiid, and it's like, damn. And you know where he really got hurt? He didn't get hurt because Embiid pulled his leg. Remember the play Embiid flopped and then rolled over his ankle?
Yep.
That's where he
you're
got
talking
hurt.
about the quarter before that.
Yeah, he flopped and then literally just
when we went crazy, we were like, yo, look at Embiid, he cheating.
He dived into his legs.
Yeah.
And just rolled over. That's when, and then when he got up, that's when he started limping for real. Like he didn't limp after
when he pulled Mitch's ankle. You were like, yo, how do they not see this?
No, man.
You remember the knee and Hartenstein? He kneed
He's
Hartenstein,
growing in the
and it,
growing.
yeah, and it was like, and Hartenstein got the foul called on him.
Yeah. And any other time they would have reviewed it and put a flagrant or something on it.
Right.
It's it's unfair because when we talking about bigs and ankles and feet, because he had the injury against the Celtics, and I don't even know where he got hurt on that play. And then they rushed him back real fast,
Yeah.
and then Embiid flopped and literally just dove into his legs and rolled over it.
You know what you sound like, Dre?
And
The previous 6 seasons of Mitch Robinson's career.
AD, y'all be killing Mitch.
The previous 6 seasons of Mitch Robinson's career.
you calling that man General Hospital?
Yes.
Oh my God, bro.
The life and times?
Yes. Without the flashing EMS light going through the show.
Mount Sinai Mitch.
Come on now.
Yo, why is it? It's if I feel like on a night to night basis, man, like either I'm defending Mitch or telling people to calm down about Mitch.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what happened. It's because everybody said, hey, we got the best wings in the business when it comes to defense now. We don't need a center. So everyone wrote Mitch off a long, long time ago. They said, we don't need him. Get rid of him. We don't need him anymore. And then when the defense sucked, they says, oh, where's Mitch? Oh, we need Mitch. Oh, he's not here. Oh, why is he never here? He's never here. Give me a break with this nonsense already.
When the defense sucked, we're 31-16.
The defense sucked. The defense sucked in the beginning of the year. I think everyone.
The center is starting in the All-Star game.
Is he there for his defense?
What? Why can't we want more? Championship teams, my friend, they bulk up. They don't stand still and saying we good right here. When you really you want to pick a sport, you want to look at the Patriots and their championship runs and how many veterans they done ran up and
I want to look at the Jets. I want to look at the Jets.
No, you don't. You don't want to look at the Jets. You know, that's what I said. Championship teams. I ain't say nothing about.
I'm sorry. I thought you said championship teams.
See,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I ain't even gonna do that with you. You know, you just unnecessary. You know, you like school in July 15th, man. No class.
No class. Shut up.
Freezie be sending them shots like he not a Bears fan. Same boat, brother.
Yeah, but Ivory, the thing I'm saying about Mitch, that my only thing is, I believe that if the conversation was centered more about Cat and Mitchell Robinson coexisting, I wouldn't go to the extremes with it. And I legit would not go to the extreme.
I don't think anyone's saying Mitch should replace, our center. I think everyone's talking about Mitch being an addition to the team, not replacing anybody or taking our center out of the game. We're talking about having.
You are reasonable. See, you're reasonable, right? What you're saying is reasonable, but there are, bro, and not to cut you, because I understand what you're saying, and respectfully, I'm just saying there is a sect of Mitchell Robinson fans that believe when he returns to the starting lineup, the cure for cancer
returns to the what? Returns to the what, Freezie? You said what?
Yo, you heard me?
I don't think we'll ever change that starting lineup, not when they're playing this well. But they will give Mitch some time. He will have some time in there. And I think once he gets back to himself, those would be some very, very beneficial minutes for the team. There's no doubt about it.
You don't have to change the starting lineup to go to match up. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta do that.
I just want to see how he manages to juggle Precious's minutes. Because while Precious is a better 4 next to a shooting 5, you can't put Precious and Mitch out there at the same time.
No.
You just can't do that. From a
Precious
basketball standpoint.
Mitch? When Mitch, if you put Precious, Deuce, and Mitch on the floor, and now Deuce is the primary scorer.
But you know what the funny thing is, Freezie? Every time we had our two centers, Precious was the first one out of the rotation from the bigs. You know that, right?
Yeah,
When we had Hartenstein and Mitch healthy at the same time,
yeah,
Precious did not play.
right, yep.
And that was after he put up 48 minutes a game. in
Yeah, in
one-
February.
Yeah, they did that to him right after that. Like they just said, "Your bro,
In
you're not gonna
February, he
play."
led the NBA in minutes.
Yeah, right. And after that, is
That
when
man,
they sat him
he
down.
played 39.9 minutes a game in the month of February.
Valuable minutes, very valuable minutes. And we didn't even want to resign him necessarily. I mean,
Yeah.
so that tells you the team doesn't value him all that much. I think we probably value him more than maybe management does, because I think he's been extremely valuable, and I see him being a better fit next to Towns than Mitch is. I really do. I think his versatility out there with that team, he can guard two through five for the most part. So I love his versatility, especially versus those big teams like the Celtics, those versatile wings, that they have, and like Orlando has those big wings. I love having Precious out there. I think he's valuable.
Here's the thing: the thing that you're saying, the front office has noticed is that too, and they're gonna try to acquire a versatile four. If it ain't Precious coming back, they're gonna try to get one that can guard 2 through 5 again to place them next to, like for example, going forward. You know how they found Jokic and Aaron Gordon, and before that they had Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
They're looking to get
And Paul Millsap and Jeremy Grant.
Yep, they're looking to get him a guy that can play 4 and be extremely versatile and play next to Cat. And they're probably, like, when the season ends, they're probably going to use Mitch's contract to try to get a guy like that going forward. Not to say that Mitch has no value or no place, or he doesn't fit in the league.
I'm giving Mitch $20 million a year for the next 5 years.
Oh no!
Oh Jesus! Oh my God!
What's the going rate for a center? Hartenstein got 29.
We said, oh God, how can we do that when they gave that to Hart? Don't think that Mitch can't come in there and earn.
Right? What do we?
How is he going to get that? Hart? How many games did Hart miss over the last 2 years? 3.
That man was playing on an Achilles.
3.
Come on.
That man missed 3 games in 2 years before he got his deal. Mitch missed 3 games in a week.
Yo, y'all do Mitch. Yo, see, that's the thing with this conversation, bro. It's always one extreme or another, bro. It's always.
How is it one extreme and the man has yet to play a full? I don't think he's played 70 games.
Bro,
he might have played 70 games once.
Dre, you see what I'm talking about? It's always either Mitchell Robinson is trash or my Lord and Savior Mitchell Robinson. There's like no middle. There's no middle ground, bro.
So we shouldn't expect a man in his 20s.
Listen, Mitch is just now entering his prime, so I think that means health. Health is on the way. Next few years of health. I feel it. It's coming.
Maybe next year he gives us a hook shot in his prime.
Keep hope alive. I heard that in '84. Keep hope alive.
I heard that in 74, 64, 54, 34, 24, 14. Yeah.
But here's the deal: if we can't go out and trade for anyone better than Mitch to play the same position as Mitch, then why would we do? Then why make a move at all? Just to have a body there, just in case? I don't
think whatever the move is going to be with respect to Mitch is going to be done in the offseason. It ain't going to be done.
I agree.
Like Mitch is going to be viewed as the mid-season like acquisition. That's how they're going to use him, because we haven't had him all year. They're going to view him as a trade deadline acquisition and just plug him in, because there is no center available on the market better than him.
So I think we're looking this through jaded lenses. First of all, we're looking at Mitch like as soon as he get back, he's going to be prime Mitch. He's not, bro. That man has been out 9 months, right? That man's been out 9 months. I think we got to just kind of relax on it. And I think NBA teams know that he's been out that long.
That man he gonna look like Kevin Duckworth.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like the thing with I think the thing with Mitch is I think we should just relax, man, and just let this thing play out, man, and not do anything hasty.
Remember when he first gained the weight? Remember when he first put on the 25 pounds? It was like he was running around with sandbags. I was like, oh my
that
God.
man was looking like Mika Torre.
Keep in mind,
Get that man in a sauna.
Keep in mind, a lot of that weight gain was due to what the team asked him to do, right? He was getting pushed around under the rim.
Yep.
And they said, Mitch, we need you to gain weight. They did the same thing with Porzingis. And both of them had to go back against the team's orders to get their bodies right. That's what Mitch just did. Porzingis did it. But that's what the team had to do.
Have you seen RJ Barrett in Toronto?
Is he not looking like he not looking like Randall anymore?
No, he's not looking like Randall.
That man RJ was dunking on people as a rookie. Come back, he swelled up for no reason. Because Tibbs was like, I will trade him if he doesn't put on weight.
Because Tibbs like that, bro. Tibbs is a chubby chaser. I've been telling y'all that for years, bro.
Yeah, that man.
Like legit, if you not cornbread fed, Tibbs don't like you, bro.
Tibbs had RJ on that Corey Maggette weight game plan.
Yeah, look at Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson don't look like Ja, bro.
No, Jalen Brunson built like a running back.
Jalen Brunson wasn't Ja's weight since the 9th grade.
Listen, shout out to Trevor Keels. Shout out to Trevor Keels.
Oh, they love Trevor Keels.
I heard he's still growing. I heard he's 6'10" now.
It was like with Frank. They're like, oh, he can be a point guard. Oh no, he's being 2 guard. Oh no, he can guard 3s. Oh, I think he can guard 4s now. They were trying to change his positions just to find something he could do.
The funniest part about like our 2 terrible drafts, it was like, oh, Frank is 6'7". Come to find out he's 6'5".
6'4".
Oh my God, Kevin Knox is 6'9". Come to find out he's 6'7".
6'7". Yeah. Yeah, and so I've seen Frank.
Come to find out they both can't play.
They neither can play. Neither can play. Yeah. He's the Blair Thomas of New York draft picks, bro.
I see where this is gonna go the rest of the show.
What?
It's a consistent reminder of where the New York Jets are as a football franchise right now.
Oh my God.
We're not the monsters of the Midway. We're not living in futility for the last, I don't know, since Jesus was a baby. I don't know. How long has the Bears been irrelevant?
Bro, we're in the perpetual state of that.
Shock. In a perpetual state of shock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this with you, Freezie. I'm really not. I'm just happy to be a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
So what do you think is more? So I know AD thinks we need a big, but do you think it's more important to get this a big or a wing, a ball handler or a defender?
Preferably, it would be nice to have all 3 in one player.
In one player, yeah. Lonzo Ball, yeah.
Tell you right now, take back Alec Burks, baby.
I take Alec Burks. That ship has sailed. Better than Alec Burks. You know who? The other guy, Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is like a younger version of Alec Burks.
You wouldn't give up a 2nd-round pick for Alec Burks right now.
Alec Burks is done. He's not going to play. He's done.
I'd give up one of them trash fake 2nd-rounders that the Celtics gave us. Like Celtics gave us like a top 50 protected. Like what is
that? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You talking about the Evan Fournier deal?
Yeah, I'll just give them that.
As Freezie points out to us all the time, in Game 7 last year, when Tibbs took Burks out the game to bring back in Brunson, and they lost the lead, and they were down like 6, and they went back up to like 19.
Yep.
Burks is a vet.
He is. I just think we need a little bit more from that spot right now. We need a little bit more.
I'm saying at the very least, would I be mad if they were bringing Burks back? What?
Alec Burks is the flaw.
But if they bring back Burks, Tibbs is gonna play Burks. Tibbs is gonna hit him. Tibbs is gonna have Burks out there playing point.
Yeah.
But the thing is about that is, while you say that, he's proficient enough at those things. Like the things that Tibbs asks of his guards is to hit corner threes and actually show effort on defense.
And don't turn the ball over.
Which is things that he does do.
You see, when we talk about campaign and when we talk about, Deuce, look at their turnover ratio. They're averaging less than a turnover per game. Tibbs, he values that. Okay, that's just one more possession that we get to score and the other team doesn't.
And the description I gave was literally the textbook definition of what campaign, Deuce, and Burks do. Like, take and make corner threes, give effort on defense, and don't turn the ball over.
And you know what else Burks does though, and is very underrated? Alec Burks scores when the clock is stopped. I think that's a very underrated skill.
Yes.
Like if y'all notice that Alec Burks gets to the free. Alec Burks even gets fouled a lot on 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
Right. Just like little things, like nuanced stuff that you don't recognize, like in a box score.
And I understand 100% where Ivory's coming from. Like, but you want the stop, like he'd be the stopgap version of the player that you really want, that you can't really get in the middle of the season. Like it's just hard to get that particular type of player. Like this is why you're talking about gambling on BJ Boston, because he'd be a gamble.
Yeah,
he wouldn't be an absolute like knock it out the park home run immediately. Not for Tom Thibodeau.
I don't think
anyway.
We're going to get a home run though, right? We're not going to get a home run right now. So we don't have the money for a home run. I look at like if you pick up a guy like even if a guy like BJ Boston, 6'7", handles the ball like that and scores as well as he does right now on our bench, and he's 6'7", like I said, I think that could potentially be super important to this team because he not only is another ball handler, he's also another wing, and he's only 23. So I think this is going to become more important as we go. I just remember in the playoffs how when they put a lot of pressure on Brunson, we had no one to give the ball to create offense for us. And I know everyone loves Josh Hart, and I know he's doing great this year. But I think under very pressure situations, I'm not sure you really want him handling the ball like that and running the offense. I'm very surprised to see how well this team fast breaks. I've never seen so many fast break points of such an unathletic team in my life. But this team looks good when we're running and scoring fast.
But I heard you say something earlier.
Do that would be great.
I heard you say something earlier, not to cut you, fam. I heard you say something earlier that kind of shocked me a little bit. That you didn't like Cat handling the ball.
No, it's not that I don't think he's good or anything at it. I think that when he is taking the ball from the top of the key, a couple of dribbles through traffic and going to the hole, obviously he does it well. He's good. But I just it just looks dangerous to me.
Look, me and Freezie was on record months ago. I said the same thing, right? But Cat is not, he's just not going to be the prototypical give him the ball on the block 15 times and he goes from the block. He doesn't do it. Maybe they give him the ball on average on the block. Maybe 3 times. Maybe 3 times. He's a face-up center beyond what David Robinson ever was. He's a face-up center beyond the 3.
And you can't put people on the block in a 5-out offense.
And you can't put people on and
not keep them there. You can start them on the block, but they have to go somewhere and screen.
Because that's just not part of his game. It's not. But every time he goes crashing in there, right? He never lands on his feet. He never quite lands on his feet, does he?
Never.
I think that's intentional, by the way.
But he's not going to get calls either. He's not getting any calls. So I just, it's a dangerous way to go about it. But listen, he's a talented guy. He's going to do what he's got to do to score. That's what he's there to do.
I'll frame it like this.
I just when I talk about giving, when I was referring to that AD, I was really just referring to, hey, who do we give the ball to create offense when Brunson is just being locked down?
Right? I think you give it to Cat because remember something. What this offense has shown you is that they're not selfish. They've had 30 assist games? They don't have 30 assist games without Cat at the top making the read with the Joker light. See, if they was playing Cat more like Denver, how Denver plays Joker, we're in a whole nother conversation. Because he had no. I'm not talking about him as a versus Joker. I'm just talking about how he would more impact himself on the offense.
Nah, AD. That's what they use Jokic different. Like Dre broke.
Yes, I'm saying that they used him more like Joker. More with creation wise, because Cat is the best passing big we've had in my lifetime.
Dre, can you tell him the reason why I disagree with the Jokic and Cat thing?
Well,
you remember we had the split action conversation?
Yeah, where you could run split actions, but Jokic likes to run his split actions like closer on the mid post,
right?
Because his turnaround, his floater game, all that stuff is automatic.
And
whereas Cat can do a lot of the same things, but more extended out because you have to respect his 3-point shot,
right?
But
the closer Cat is to the rim, the more you take away his driving to the rim with either hand.
Yeah,
right. And then also with Cat, when you run split action. When you run the split action, when they run it from the floor, now on Karl Anthony Towns' threes, instead of having his feet set, he has to go to a spot and shoot, as opposed to already being ready to shoot in a certain spot.
Yeah,
that limits him. That limits him. Okay, that limits him because here's the thing. There's times when you watch the Knicks offense where Cat kind of gets lost a little bit in segments. That doesn't happen with Joker. He's always a part of what they need to do to finish it off.
Like
either he starts it or he finishes it or he's somewhere in the middle passing it back to the weak side or something. I'm just talking about Cat always being involved.
I agree with that because even with the Nuggets, like they'll like Murray might get the ball off a rebound, might push, and if there's nothing, they reset into an action where Jokic can be a decision maker at some point.
Yeah, you know how many times I've seen Cat get the ball off the board and finds Bridges or finds what's her name down for a lead touchdown pass or whatever. His passing is uncanny. We haven't seen a passing big like this in the Knicks uniform. Not in my lifetime.
I remember people were saying Ihart's a better passer. No.
Hell no.
No.
I don't know. Ihart takes a lot more risks with his passes, that's for sure.
No. Better passer, no.
No. Takes risk. That's different.
And he just... I understand your point 100%, AD. I think there's a certain level of versatility that we haven't really accessed within Cat's game, out of probably the fear of keeping turnovers down. Because when you get to those parts of his game, like even like any other player, once you increase usage with a guy, there's going to be more turnovers. Brunson is like one of the few guys in like the league history, to be absolutely honest with you, that has like a super high usage and a low turnover rate that he does have. Like I'm talking about like Chris Paul levels of not turning their ball over. So outside of that, like I understand the point of like giving him more usage or giving him more creativity and more options because, right, teams are going to key in on Brunson in the playoffs. And granted, they tried to key in on him on the Sixers, and all we did was basically play 2-man game with him and iHeart, and he got whatever look he wanted, or after like basically probing for as long as he wanted. But I understand that point where we kind of need another guy that can create, and Cat has all the talent in the world to be that kind of guy that can even pass out of the post, because we've seen him make dazzling passes out of the post where a double team is coming over.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about more usage, right? Just to say, just for the argument's sake of giving him more. I'm talking about making the touches that he gets more effective.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really see them run pin downs for Cat.
When that man could fly around a pin down and put up a
Hey, oh my God!
They did that when he was at the 4.
If I'm not giving him 5 pin downs a game, I'm not giving that mobile big. The thing what bothers me with if anything bothers me with the Knicks is this: they somehow forget that they have a clear-cut mismatch every night at the 5 in the East. Every night. Yeah. Not some nights, every night.
I agree. And at this point, too, Cat probably takes maybe like 5 threes a game at most, really around 4 he's been averaging as of late. He probably should be taking 6 or 7.
He's injured right now, though. You can tell he's still favoring this hand.
I mean, before the hand, like he was only taking like 5, Freezie.
No, I agree with you on that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, but now it's down even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he needs to be up around 6 or 7, because the thing that like Dante gave us that we kind of like missing is a guy with just an immense quick trigger from anywhere. Because a guard with a quick trigger, has to take like 10 or 11 threes to put the fear of God in the team, right? Cat only has to take 5 and teams are overreacting. Now make him take 7, and you're warping defenses to make them overreact. And now you're getting even more open looks at the paint. Yes. I think teams will see Cat at points in the game. Cat will just not even take the 3, even though it's given to him. He'll like turn it down and like look for a dribble handoff or get into an action. Whereas like a guy like Dante will straight up ignore the initial play that's happening and just put it up because he's open 27 feet behind the arc.
When he looks for the dribble handoff, I'm like, my dude. Did the coach tell you to make a dribble handoff right here? What are you doing?
It almost feels like he doesn't want to overstep on the boundaries or assume anything on a team. But if I put it this way, if Joe Mazzulla was coaching Cat would take 9 threes in a night.
But you see, and that's the part of Cat's game where when I say that the sky's the limit for Cat, I mean in a not that he's not aggressive, but there's gonna come a point in the playoffs where he's got to take over. Yeah. And not on 1 play, 2 play, and 3 play. I mean like 5 plays.
And that worries me big time because he hasn't really shown that type of game. He's shown a lot of talent. He hasn't shown that beast mode where I'm taking over a game. And if he's out on the perimeter, that's hard to do because he's got to take a lot of dribbles to get to the hole. And that's when he picks up fouls. That's what I'm saying.
He showed that against Miami earlier in the year. And a good defender too, Bam. Like he destroyed Bam.
No, he did. He made Bam. I never saw Bam look so bad in my life. That was incredible. We don't see it enough, right? I mean, this is probably the most talented guy on the team, and we haven't seen him take over enough games. So we haven't really seen. I mean, there's been a couple of games he obviously put his stamp on, obviously, but just big buckets at the big moments. That's been Brunson taking on that leadership role because there's even times where Cat is out there, you forget that he's on the court because he's not taking shots, he's just going up and down the court, and he's not demanding the ball. I want to see him demand the ball a little bit more.
I think
Yes.
He needs to demand the ball, but the thing that's great about Cat, he doesn't need to have the ball to make teams feel his presence. Like a lot of the back doors that we get, a lot of the layups, like we've never seen Brunson get this many layups at the rim in his Knicks tenure, and that even that has nothing to do with some at points. It has nothing to do with Cat even touching the rock. It has to do with Cat's man having to vacate the paint because Cat is one the greatest 3-point shooting big ever,
Yeah.
and he just has a passive effect on the game that we haven't really had from a center. Like he legitimately, when he steps on the court, teams have to alter. Like teams literally put guards and wings on him because they're terrified of him shooting. Like the idea of Cat shooting is more petrifying to teams than him actually shooting.
Yeah,
That
but the
makes
court.
sense.
Yeah, but the court shrinks in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
You
And
know
and
that.
when it shrinks, he has to be more aggressive.
Yeah, and that was
It
part.
worries me.
That was a part of the problem in the conference finals with him. He settled.
Well,
He
to be
settled.
fair, in the conference finals, he's out there playing with two non-shooters in Jaden McDaniels and Gobert, and they basically made Cat be like a big ass small forward shooter. Teams know how to cover that. Teams don't know how to cover when Cat is at the 5 and there's 4 other guys that can shoot.
Yeah, but I think Dre, what we're talking about, like, the reason why he's so efficient is because he doesn't hold the ball, right? He doesn't have the ball in his hands
He
very
doesn't
well,
force
and
it a lot.
he doesn't force, right? Exactly. But the best players and the guys that take over this game, they have to force sometimes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't know if he can do that. Because he's a big man. He can't do every damn thing. I mean, that's why I love him in the flow of the offense, getting his blah blah blah. That's where he shines. But when you throw him the ball and say, "Okay, Cat, we need to do it," I'm not sure that's the dude. And this is kind of what I'm talking about having another guy. I could be crazy. I mean, listen, maybe I just want more as I want more. But
He is that
Or
dude.
maybe
He has to find his Neo.
or maybe the other guy is on the team and we just haven't seen him at his peak yet in Mikal. Because
No.
I've never in my career seen Mikal. He doesn't have that shimmy, shake, and bake to get to the. He doesn't have that in his game, really. I mean, he has a little bit of. He's a slasher. He's a 2-dribble guy to the rim. That's it. He's not a guy that's going to take you off the dribble a lot.
I counter that point.
He takes a couple of dribbles and gets to his mid range, but I'm talking about a slasher that you know what I mean, who's got the ball on a string.
You want a Jaylen Brown, basically, or like a guy that can basically clear out a side and go to work.
What I'm saying is, if there's 6 seconds on the clock and we throw the ball to Cat on the perimeter, and the guy's up on him, I don't know how that works out.
That's a center.
Cat can get his shot. That's not the problem. Can he get his shot and can he score? The problem is, will he demand it? Will he demand it? Like I said, on several, not on one possession, on several.
AD, I hear you about the mental aspect of it, but I'm also saying I think there might be a physical inability here when it comes to that type of a play, a one-on-one, or hey, get the ball to Cat. We need a bucket right now, real bad. Get him the ball. 6 seconds on the clock. Is he going to dribble to the hole? How's he going to get a shot for himself? It's going to have to be some type of step back shot or something like that. And
but he can get his shot. You see, Cat lives somewhere in the world between Dirk and Embiid, kind of, sort of.
He actually has mid-post moves and self-creation moves.
He can get that.
He just doesn't force them.
He don't force them. He doesn't force. See, my thing with Cat, more than anything else, just going back to the series last year with them, Dre, is that Cat bodied Joker in the first round. Body Joker. You can't go from bodying Joker to disappearing in the biggest games of your life.
Yeah.
You just can't.
He
It doesn't
bodies
work
over
like
in
that.
that
You
game
can't. You
7.
can't go down. You can't go down. You got to go up. You only run. When you that guy and you're going to that next stage or whatever, your games only get better as you're not going to get to the finals.
Yeah.
I think this is partially why his statistics in the playoffs have been very underwhelming. It's because it's a different game, and if it does slow down like that, and you've got to get it on, and you've got to get it that way, I think that's tough. That's tough for him when you're moving the ball. The offensive flowing, that is beautiful.
Ask a question?
What
Just
you
want to
said,
ask a question.
Freezie?
How does Carl Anthony Towns look against the best defensive centers in the league this year?
Excellent.
He's the roasting, man.
Dudes that legit have hardware, not dudes with a reputation.
Been roasting him.
Like Bam Adebayo and Rudy Gobert.
Eating them up.
I'm almost sad that AD's gonna be out on Saturday. He got an injury. Anthony Davis, by the way.
The reason why I asked that is because I understand where y'all coming from about Cat not being an alpha, right? And alpha on offense, right? Cat has 6 games this season of 20 plus shot attempts. Jalen Brunson has more than that in January. Right?
Facts.
Right? Legit, Jalen Brunson has 7 games of 7 20 plus shot attempt games in January, right? The thing is with Cat, you didn't bring Cat here to supplant Jalen Brunson on nights when Jalen, you know what I'm saying? You brought Cat here to be the perfect complement for, you know what I'm saying? Because if you wanted somebody to supplant Jalen Brunson at times, you probably would have went after a different player, right? Right? Think about this. We traded a center. We traded a power forward for a center, right? If we wanted a guy to supplant Jalen Brunson's off night, so to speak, then the Knicks probably would have targeted a higher guy. Think about it. The salary was not an issue. They matched salary almost $50 million. That wasn't even an issue. They needed a cat to go with a dog. That's what they needed, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about Cat, the thing that Cat does that I don't think we give him credit for is a lot of Cat's shot attempts aren't even ISO, sauce up, whatever. A lot of that is grab an offensive rebound in traffic, put it back. The cat gets points that way also. I think he's the perfect complement. I think if we're searching for a guy that can improve upon what he's already doing, I think it's OG Anunoby's offense. Because the shot attempts are there, they don't always go in. So you won't ask OG to shoot more. You just ask him to be more efficient with his shots. For those stretches, like those stretches that y'all are talking about, like you just want somebody to take over, man, and just get you 8 straight points, man. And Cat does that during the game, bro. Cat did that in the last game. Right. And there's a game in Cat's game log where he had 46 points and like 20 rebounds this season. Right. Against Chicago, Cat had 44 points and 16 rebounds against Vucevic. Right. That happened Saturday, January 4th. And against Rudy Gobert, at Minnesota, Cat had 32 points, 20 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 for 5 from 3, and he was 10 of 12 from the floor.
Hit him up.
Before we get to side, I think this conversation is less about what Cat can't do and more about the small puzzle piece that the Knicks are missing. Okay. And in my opinion, that small puzzle piece is another dangerous guy with the ball in his hands on the perimeter. going to the hole, something like that. AD is saying that's not as necessary because Cat can kind of handle some of the responsibilities of being that other guy who's going to be super dangerous. I don't think that's going to play. I think it's a different type of danger that we're talking about. I think Towns is amazing. He's the man, whatever, all that stuff. But the type of what I'm referring to is a guard type of skill that I don't expect Cat to do. I'm not asking, and I'm not even asking someone to be on a star level. I need someone to be dangerous over there. That someone's like, yo, pick him up, get that guy. Even RJ Barrett last year when he was catching the ball off of the double team from Brunson was dangerous with the ball. We won playoff games with him getting the ball there because he was receiving it and he was dangerous going to the hole. They couldn't stop. But that we won a couple of series that way with playing that way. And that's all I'm looking for is someone we can get the ball to who's going to be dangerous, taking his man off the dribble. They're gonna have to crunch in on that guy to pick him up because he's getting by that first guy. So they're gonna have to crush the defense.
You're looking for Bradley Beal.
Someone a little bit bigger than Bradley Beal that can possibly play with Brunson and doesn't make as much money as Bradley Beal, of course.
I think Mikal can do a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I'm being absolutely honest.
Yeah, I think you're overlooking Mikal with these things.
I think Mikal can do a lot of these things. And
but
over the last 5 games,
we haven't seen it though, right? We haven't seen it though.
Hold on. Over the last 5 games, Mikal has been averaging 5 assists and like 22 points a game. If he gave us that for a playoff run, we're winning the championship. Period.
That's unsustainable though. We can't ask him to do that.
He's probably going to play more minutes. And it depends on how teams guard him. But can he be close to 20 points per game? Absolutely. Can he? He's already amongst the elite in mid-range shooting.
Remember,
I think that makes him all NBA.
And guys, I'm not necessarily talking about how well someone can perform in a particular game. I'm talking about a certain skill set that the team is going to need. And you think Bridges can handle the ball under pressure like that?
Here's the skill set that I'm giving you.
Bridges has been to the finals, though. You keep forgetting that.
But Bridges wasn't handling the ball under pressure like we're going to need him to do.
Ivory, here's the skill set that I'm giving you. You know what wins championships? The mid-range shot.
Okay.
Every team that's won a championship has 1 or 2 guys that are deadly in the mid-range.
Okay.
Point blank period.
Every team that's won one that has a point guard
in the league in mid-range. So is Brunson.
Yeah, so Ivory, let me just be clear. Ivory, you're saying somebody adjacent from the starting 5.
Yeah, someone coming off the bench that's gonna be hey, that can play with Brunson a little bit and be a guy that they got to check. That's not Campaign. You know what I mean? Campaign's the only guy we got coming off the bench that can dribble, right? He's the only guy that can dribble.
What about Buddy Hield? Would that satisfy you?
No, because he can't dribble either, and he's too small.
Wait, relax, bro. Buddy Hield can't dribble, bro.
I mean, he's not the guy I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy.
Okay. Now, if you say that, now I agree with you. But Buddy Hield is a combo guard, bro. He can do a lot of different things offensively. Now his defense,
he might be interesting, but I think he might make a little bit too much money. I'm also looking for someone just for the shoe.
Guess he make $8 million.
That's doable.
Yeah, right.
He's falling out of favor over there though. Like he does the same thing that he does at every stop, where he comes to a team and shoots the lights out,
right?
And then he gets into a slump, and then he doesn't do anything else to help you win. Right. So when he's in a slump, he's just an extremely negative
detriment. Yeah. What happened to him in Philly? Shooting the lights out.
What happened to him in Indiana?
Yeah, but the thing about Buddy though is, if he sees a shot go in,
right,
get the women and the children out the house.
He'll win a quarter for you.
Right. That's why I asked Ivory, like, man, are you talking about Buddy Hield, a guy where his defense won't be that impactful because he'll be playing against second units, and second units generally don't have multiple scorers on it.
Tibbs will never
hide them.
Tibbs will never play.
The moment he has one screw up on the rotation,
one.
That's the dangerous part about getting anybody on this team right now.
I think that's his reputation. But the thing that Tom Thibodeau has to be careful of is taking that mentality into another postseason, and then guys are injured, and you lose in the second round, and then you'll have to explain to Knicks fans that in 4 of the 5 seasons you've been here, you lost in the exact same manner. See, I can't explain that to Ivory 10 in June when we lose in the second round the same way we lost last year and the year before and in 2021. Because Ivory 10 ain't going to want to hear that.
That's a tough
Because
one.
Ivory 10 is saying in January, telling us what we need, and then if we don't get it, and then we lose in the second round in June, Ivory 10 ain't going to want to. Ivory 10 can be like, Uncle Freezie, I told you back in January, this is what we needed. I'm like, bro, I'm not the GM, bro. Yeah, I'm not the team president, dog.
And neither is Tibbs.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I agree with what Ivory 10 is saying. I think every team needs that guy. And AD agrees too, because he described what Ivory 10 said just in a different way. Right? Ivory 10, hey, you know what? Anthony D gave examples. Remember when he said Sean Livingston? Remember when he brought him up? A big guard that could play with an alternative unit, get buckets, create buckets for others, and play with the starters a little bit to take.
That's why Lonzo Ball is a great fit too.
Right. That's why I think Buddy Hield is because I'm not saying that Buddy Hield is the cure-all, because if you get Buddy Hield, you'll have to get a defensive wing to go with him. Right? You can't legit put Buddy Hield on the floor. Cameron Payne's defense is not good enough to overcome what Buddy is not going to do defensively. Deuce McBride's defense is not good enough to cover up what Buddy's not going to do. But what Buddy will do on nights his shot is going, he's going to carry that second unit and get minutes with the starters. Because he can legit keep junk defenses off of Jalen Brunson just by gravity. And we forget that Buddy Hield is one of the greatest three-point shooters the NBA has ever seen. Ever.
If you had Mitch back, it would be a lot more doable.
But you can't play 6 people on that unit, though, dog.
Yeah, but if you had Mitch back, you could at your 5, you could definitely protect him. Slide Mitch over in the coverage. When this man beats him, it's a lot more doable because you got to center. That's what he does.
Getting beat on the perimeter, dog. He getting beat on the perimeter.
That's what I'm saying. You got Mitch is your back line versus no disrespect to Precious, but Precious is 6'7".
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a bigger version to take Shamit's minutes, like a Cody Martin on Charlotte. Someone like that. Someone that's more solid than Shamit. And I know Shamit has a role of throwing up threes or whatever, but I don't trust him and Cam in the same. Those two are scary.
And here's my non-negotiable. Anybody we get needs to be able to be an above-average three-point shooter. I can't come in here and just throw somebody on the bench in the lineup because he's 6'7" and he can't shoot.
You did it with Matt Ryan?
No. He said Cody Martin. He can't shoot. But
you got Matt Ryan, bro.
He's not an NBA player.
I was told he was an NBA player.
But you know what they do to 6'7" guys that can't shoot in the playoffs? They literally just ignore him and just do whatever they want and trap like guys like Brunson. So like my non-negotiable is you got to be an additive player, and what I mean by that is you need to be able to shoot and play defense because there's no such thing as too much shooting and no such thing as too much defense.
Right. Okay.
On any team.
But don't you think it's pretty easy to upgrade a Shamit though? I mean, I would rather have a guy who can't shoot and be and I'd rather have Cody Martin than Shamit. Let's put it that way.
But you said the offense might be the issue. If you can't shoot, you're creating an issue.
No, I wouldn't be counting on him for the offense. I look at Cody Martin as just, he wouldn't be the 6-man answer I'm referring to. Put it that way. I'm not looking at him to score.
Iverson, let me throw a name at you. What about Ricky Council IV?
No idea who that is.
He's off the bench for the Sixers. He's basically like the 12th man because he wouldn't play it if they were healthy.
Yeah. And Sixers fans love him because he is a big guard that can dribble and create space and to let the other little guards just run around and do all the stuff that they want to do.
He's a ball of energy. He's basically like a lesser version of Josh Hart, but super athletic.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a kid. He's still on his first year. He's still on the rookie deal.
Yeah. And the Sixers fans love him, bro.
Oh, you're not getting him then. You're not gonna get him.
Did you see their record?
Yeah, but why would they? They're not gonna give up on one of their young guys who they got on the cheap that they like. You know.
No, I said I said the fans like him. I don't know how the organization feels about him. I'm talking about the fans, and then plus they already have their off guard of the future out for the season. Jared McCain. Remember the dude painting his fingernails? 3-point shooter?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you can paint your fingernails. That's fine. I just enough with the videos. I can't take that nonsense. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but I don't like the Mikal Bridges celebrations where he's doing the bobblehead nonsense. You know what I mean? I can't stand it. I'm old school. I don't know. I'm old school.
Yeah. I would say,
especially when he was doing it when he was 1 for 10. I mean,
I agree with you though. I think I agree wholeheartedly with you, even down to the thing with Mitch, right? Even to the thing with Mitchell Robinson. I think we're aligned in that, right? But my thing is finding the player that fits the profile that you're saying is the issue, right? Like, what's the name of the like, can we put a name to the because the trade deadline is in 8 days, right? And so we've been told stuff since the summer, like, hey man, no, you can't do that during the summer, dog. You got to do that at the trade deadline. And see, the trade deadline is in 8 days, and so now you're like, what are we gonna do? Do you beat teams to the punch? Do you proactively get a guy?
If we lose a wing, we're in trouble. If we lose a wing, we're in trouble.
That's the reason why I think they're going to target, like the guy I mentioned earlier.
I mean, yeah, I see someone in the chat. Shout out to Mike Saunders with the Chume Okiki line in there. I guess they could always bring him up. But I mean, as far as like being a trying to contend still, I mean, I don't know what we'd be in trouble.
I think they're going to target.
You said John Simmons?
I said they're going to target Javonte Green or someone like that, Freezie. It wouldn't shock me. Not one bit.
I was trying to follow what Ivory 10 was saying because when I think
I said shout out to Mike Saunders. He said bring up Chumo Kiki. He's a G League guy doing really well down there. He's a
okay.
But that right now. I mean, I think if we have 3 bigs, we've got our 3 bigs when Mitch comes back. We've got our 3 wings. I think we need another guard wing guy. I really do.
A big guard,
a big 2 guard that can handle the rock and slash would be perfect.
Those guys are so rare though. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Freezie, what do you think Tyreek Evans doing right now?
You know what he's doing. You good dog. Come on, man. You know what he's doing. He getting high. That's why he's not in the league. But that'd have been perfect, right?
But hey,
220
slick ball handler.
Yeah. Where OJ Mayo at doing the same thing?
Oh, you know what he did.
That's why I would break out the 2nd round pick right now, put Brandon Boston on the back burner, get him on the squad, and then figure it out from there.
But dog, I feel you. But the
figure it out from here part with Tom Thibodeau is.
And who are you gonna cut?
Shaman. See ya. He's got 1 or 2 more games. Let's be honest. Before he's going to be benched anyway, he's got 1 or 2 more games before Tibbs has enough of this nonsense.
Man, I'm getting Sims off the team to get some money, some cap space. Like I'd dump him off on some team.
Y'all sound like haters, bro.
No, I'm just talking about this team. I just figured this is the last piece. If we had a good 6-man scorer right now, if we had a microwave right now, Johnson, if we had a Vinny Johnson, it'd be over. If we had a scorer off the bench right now that was 6'5", 6'6", that can handle the ball and distribute, I don't know if we could be stopped. I'm telling you, we would have everything. Everything. I couldn't see one weakness. I really couldn't. That's the only weakness I see right now.
And my perspective is, I'm not even hung up on the fact that it has to be a scorer. It could just be a guy that is big, versatile, and has a respectable jumper. That's basically all I want off the bench. I think we're missing, literally on our bench we have three guys at the point guard position that are 6'2" and smaller, and 3 other guys that are centers at varying sizes that are not in that 6'6" to 6'8" range with a skill set. I think we're kind of missing. We're literally missing an additional 6'6" guy with a skill set of some kind.
Yeah, man.
Of the bench, because we kind of we go to the opposite ends of the spectrum positionally off the bench, where it's just small guards or centers. That's it. There's no.
Is Dude down in AAA? Is he going to still be able to ball? Because he would really be a nice piece.
TJ Warren.
Yeah,
he's
balling down there, but can he get it done?
No matter what? I think whatever. I think I'm gonna put it this way: if we do a move that was getting Sims off the team to create cap space, then the next move would literally just be bringing up TJ Warren. That's probably what it was.
Because I could see a guy like him doing exactly what Burks did, coming in, playing those few minutes, getting some buckets, sitting down, enjoying the rest of the night. I can see him getting his 8-10 points a night, and then see you later. Good night. That's it.
8-10 points is asking for a lot for a G League guy that just came up.
But he ain't no regular G League guy.
He's not a regular G League guy, but even when he was on teams,
he was balling.
No. But I'm saying when he was on the Nets, he didn't play. On even the recent teams he was on, he just didn't play. So
he was playing in the bubble. Wasn't he putting up crazy numbers in the bubble?
How long ago was the bubble?
That was 5 years ago.
I guess that's 5 years ago by now. But
he was 26 then. He's
but if you look at his scoring, if you look at his ability to score, I'm not sure we can. There's no one on our bench right now that can score as well as him.
I think you're held up on this scoring aspect, and I don't think we need more scoring. I just think we need more ball handlers and guys that can do things off the bench.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm really referring to more of a 6-man skill ability.
Well, a 6-man is a scorer. I don't need a guy that gives me 13 points off the bench. I will literally.
If you're just looking for someone to handle the ball, you got campaign.
No. But somebody that's in the 6-7 range. I will literally be fine if we got someone that is 6'6" that averaged 6 points off the bench. If he has a point guard skill set. That's
that's not what Ivory tends to say. Asking.
Yeah, and Ivory wants a microwave.
He asking about what he want. He asking what he want, Dre.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wants.
Because I think that's what we're going to need. I think that by the end of this year, defense is not going to be the problem. It's going to be finding that scoring. Because we've seen this team go cold, right? Starters, we've seen them go cold. We've seen the bench go cold, and we had no one who could take the ball and get to the rim.
It happens.
But every team has moments when they get cold.
Yeah,
literally every team.
Damn,
every team. And we are a top 2 offense right now today. Legitimately, top 2 in offensive rating.
How about? Hey, brother. What about?
I've seen a lot of very good offensive teams go flounder in the playoffs. It's a different.
That's what game. They usually. Yeah, that's what they usually do. Top 1 game. Offense is usually floundering. But what about this though? What about Shaden Sharp?
He's a guy that you probably can't get either. They rely on him. They need that young guy to come.
They just benched him, bro.
Because he's not playing defense. He's still a future of that team.
Yeah, he
ain't going. No. Freezie, I'll bet my last dollar.
Yeah, there's no
extension.
When they get that kid out of Rutgers, Shaden Sharp is going to be the 6th man for the Vancouver Grizzlies, bro. Like Shaden Sharp ain't showed you enough in 3 years, bro. Will you be that patient for him? And neither is Scoot Henderson in 2 years. And
I'll
seasons
say
of Scoot
this.
Henderson, you can't be patient with that.
He hasn't shown you enough because I think Chauncey Billups is a terrible basketball coach.
Oh, that's a separate conversation. Yeah, you're right.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, you're right. I think he the worst coach in professional sports, bro.
Yeah, he's trash.
Yeah.
I have no idea how he still has that job.
Right. And why they still have Anthony Simons, I have no idea.
They should have been traded that man to Orlando and kept it pushing.
By the way,
we're gonna give you everything for him. Just say okay. And it was like, nah, we just gonna suck.
To bring this back a full circle, you know what Dre said about, hey, no, I'm not bringing anyone on this team that can't shoot threes. That's exactly what he said when I brought up Najee Marshall early last year. It's exactly what he said. Just saying.
You don't like Najee Marshall?
He wasn't a good shooter last year. He's still solid this year. He's okay.
But no, I'm just saying. But that's the conversation that we were having. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off subject. I'm sorry, fellas.
But the thing is, the conductor don't have to play the trumpet.
Yeah.
Right. If you're the conductor, you don't have to play the trumpet, bro. You got trumpet players out there. You just set them up so the trumpet. Yeah.
But I also think that I think we're missing. I think we have a lack of trumpet players in that second unit.
Okay.
I don't think we have dependable scorers in that second unit. And I know I keep talking about scoring and everybody.
I think it's a size issue.
I think that's my issue. I think we literally don't have a bench wing that Tibbs would play.
You know what? Let me pose this to Ivory 10. Is Deuce McBride the problem?
No, he's not a problem, but he's not the answer either.
No, let me state it though.
Okay.
Right? Because it's not a I'm not gonna sleep on the top of the covers with it. I want to state it. Is Deuce McBride's size and lack of point guard ability the reason why the entire unit is off because of size? Think about it. If Deuce was a point guard, then in free agency you wouldn't look for Cameron Payne.
Exactly. Cameron Payne wouldn't even be here.
Right. Absolutely. Cameron Payne wouldn't even be here. You would probably have signed Buddy Hield.
If Deuce had point guard ability, Deuce would probably be making twice the money he's making, at least
3 times, 4 times, 5. Yeah.
Kolek wouldn't be drafted.
Right. That's probably true too.
And so that's the reason why I asked you the question, because if you have to have a point guard, right, and then you have to play Deuce, who's a 6'2"
shooter,
wing player / 3-and-D / guy, right? And Landry Shamet is a shot creator. That means Deuce is really our 3 on that second unit.
You should really be able to get all those in one player. I mean,
right? You should, in theory. Like if we got Lonzo Ball, like you mentioned, we wouldn't need any. We'll combine all 3 of those into one.
Freezie, if we drafted Jalen Wells, we would be fine.
You know what I'm going to say, bro?
Ryan Dunn.
If you just drafted Ryan Dunn,
that boy can't shoot. I can't do it.
Right.
He can't shoot yet. I'll say that yet.
Right.
Yet. He'll eventually figure it out.
But you know what it is though about Ryan Dunn? He solves an issue. Like for instance, those nights where, bro, I personally think Ryan Dunn's defense is better than Mikal Bridges right now.
It might be.
That's what I think. That's my opinion, and I may be wrong. And I've only seen about 10 Phoenix Suns games. I don't watch them every night.
I think they're in the same sphere because they're both really, really good. So.
Yeah. And so what happens is it makes one aspect of your team impenetrable and kind of makes up for other stuff. Like you would never play Deuce, Precious, Mitch, and Ryan Dunn together.
No, absolutely.
Ever.
But you play Ryan Dunn with some starters, though.
You would play Ryan Dunn with some starters. Yeah. And on top of that, Ivory, what you could do is have Ryan Dunn guard offensive guys. And then that way you could get that big guard offense from Mikal Bridges. Right, to solve your issue. Right. But that's fantasy. That's neither here nor there. Phoenix is not trading Ryan Dunn. They got Miami off the phone when Miami asked about Ryan Dunn and Jimmy Butler.
Why isn't Charlotte trading Lonzo Ball?
Because they don't
Charlotte?
have Lonzo Ball.
You mean the Bulls?
I mean the Bulls, rather. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to move 20 million straight up right now for a
Yeah.
guy that might be a rental for a team because his place in the league is very uncertain.
Oh, is
going
his
into
contract
next year.
done this year? Is his
Yes.
last year?
Yeah, it's his last year. So teams are not going to give up anything of quality for him.
Right.
They're going to dump off a piece of crap contract or two and give you a second rounder. And is that worth it?
For us,
the
it would
Bulls?
be.
For the Bulls, is that
For the
worth
Bulls, it's like because they're still fringe playing.
Are they? Let's see
Yeah.
here.
it? They're above the Sixers still.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I'm saying is that I don't. But we don't know the market because maybe they're not even offering seconds for Lonzo just yet. And a lot of the times, if you're giving up 20 million to make the money work, you're likely not going to get another expiring 20 million for Lonzo because number one, they want that money to be gone. Period.
Right. And you know what else too? They're also trying to move Vucevic and Patrick Williams.
Jalen, that Jalen kid is on the trade market too.
Really?
Yeah,
The second year
a
player?
rumor. I saw the rumor about it too.
Wow, he a second year player. They bugging.
Is he a second year player? No, he's the guy that was on the he was on the Pacers. Remember, dude with the glasses.
Oh, you're talking about the big. You
Yeah.
talking about Jalen Smith? You talking about Sticks
Yeah, Jalen
out of
Smith.
Maryland? Yeah.
Yeah, he's on the trade market.
Man,
too.
I'd love me some him.
Chris
bro.
Boucher is on the trade market as well.
That's the dude we need right there, bro.
You like Chris Boucher?
Yeah, man.
Apparently, the rumors is that we're interested in
Tibbs
him.
played him. I'd be worried about Tibbs playing him.
Chris Boucher?
Yeah, I don't know if Tibbs. I don't know if Tibbs will play him.
Tibbs is going to play him because not only is Chris Boucher going to guard the other team point guard, he going to give you center minutes, and he only 190 pounds. and Tibbs, that man 6'9", that man 6'9", like 190, and he going to block a shot and yell and then come down and hit a three, and Tibbs is going to smoke us. Tibbs is going to be, I told y'all that's what I wanted. That's the type of dude Tibbs want, bro. Like a underrated player, bro. Man, yeah.
Tibbs makes his living with those fringe players.
And between you and I, y'all know I love Precious, right? But if we got Chris Boucher, I would give him all Precious minutes off rep. And I love Precious, bro. And I love Precious. Because it's just an element of dog to Chris Boucher game. Like the dude, like the dude that try to block a Wemby dunk, bro. You 177 pounds and you trying to block Wemby, bro?
He's fearless.
Yeah, bro. It's just something. I might give him one of Cat minutes, bro. I might, bro. I might. You mess around and Tibbs turn his head and ain't looking, bro. I will give him one of Cat's minutes, bro. And you know Tibbs like playing dudes 42 minutes. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I was scouring this entire NBA. I was looking for anybody, everybody, all the bad teams who might fit this particular role. And the only guy, well, not the only guy, but the best guy who I found for the cheapest amount of money, or the most reasonable amount of money, was BJ Boston. He's the only guy that's getting NBA minutes right now. He's coming off the bench, and he's 6'7", and he's solid. He's not
I thought you were talking about Julian Phillips, by the way. But yeah, but I'm with you. I think I've been agreeing with you all night, bro. Except for Najee Marshall. Right, but everything else, I think
I'm gonna scour all of these podcasts to find that. I'm gonna scour it.
Yeah, man.
It was one of the first times you jumped on.
How do you know the work you're putting in is actually the real answer? Like how did you get to this part?
You know, it takes I go through a whole bunch of nonsense. You have to break it down. You almost use it like you did with your graphs, right? You need there's a certain amount of money, right? You're looking under $10 million. You're looking at a certain height and a certain skill level and a certain type of ability, and you got to watch videos to see if they have that ability. It's a whole bunch of nonsense I did. I was doing it for the drafts for years.
It's a lot of parameters you got to put in.
Yeah. I was doing it for you, and then all of a sudden the Knicks started trading their picks away, and I got so mad. I'm like, I'm not doing all that work. We're not even going to take the pick. I'm like, I'm not doing all that work for nonsense. Forget it. I got so mad because I was big on what's his name on Cleveland. I was big on him out of the draft, and when we took Frank. And he went 13th. I was on these at that time. I didn't know you guys were doing. I hadn't even discovered the Knicks on YouTube yet. I was on this platform, it was Pro Sports Daily Chat, like just chatting, and we all were fighting for who we wanted the Knicks to pick, and of course the Knicks took Frank instead of.
They botched the draft anyway.
Yeah, they botched it.
When have they not botched the draft though?
When they took quickly.
I thought the Kevin Knox draft was going to be one of our best drafts ever, but with what's his name, who I thought was real nice. I thought he was going to be real nice out of Arizona. He was on the squad for a couple of years, shooting guard. He came in with Mitch and Knox.
Zoe, ISO Zoe?
Yeah, ISO Zoe, baby.
Oh, yeah.
He was undrafted, I believe.
Well, I'm saying he came in with that draft class.
Yeah, right. He came
they signed him after that. They signed him after the draft.
That man was a ball hog of the highest order.
Dude, I felt like he got a bad rap, man. I don't think he got a legitimate opportunity. And then all of a sudden, in the first preseason game, they put him at the point. They started him at that point guard. I think they threw him under the bus. But don't you remember that dunk when they stopped the game early, right before the pandemic?
Against Atlanta?
He was getting busy. Yeah, he got busy versus Atlanta that game. He was getting busy. I think he dunked on the whole team.
Yeah, he had talent. He had the ability to create a shot in the phone booth.
We need an ISO Zoe right now on the bench. As a matter of fact, 6'5", You get a bucket.
Tibbs would get pissed off.
Tibbs would never play him. Never.
Tibbs would blow a gasket on the sideline.
Yeah.
Oh man!
But I felt the team did him wrong, man. I felt like he did something wrong to the coaches. Something happened behind the scenes with him.
It was something behind the scenes that got him up out of here.
Something right because they didn't treat dude right. Something happened.
He got blackballed.
And they just stopped playing him. Nothing. And we couldn't figure out
why. It was also like he wasn't passing it to like your number 3 overall pick.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't match.
No, but he wasn't doing that, man. He was just a scorer, and he was doing when they put him in the game.
He was just a scorer.
He was getting
busy. What did we draft RJ to do?
Well, he was supposed to be a scorer too.
Exactly.
Well, that's right. So why do you get? Well, one could do it, one couldn't. What do you want me to tell you? He was getting busy though. Zoe was just tearing it up.
Politics is undefeated.
I mean, they just benched dude and did not let him get back up off the bench. I was like, what is going on? I couldn't figure that out, man. I was real bitter about that.
Yeah, I think he was extremely talented, but I don't think maybe he didn't have the mental space. Like, I think it's something behind the scenes that had to play a factor. Whether it's his character,
it had
whether it's his character, or he just wasn't a team guy.
Something happened, man. Something happened. Because they had his moms out on the court, and they were all doing like videos and commercials, and all of a sudden everything stopped cold.
Because he was supposed to be a prodigy,
right?
Yeah, he was supposed to be like the next big thing when he was like 12 years old.
Yeah, he was nice though. He had that. He was nice.
I'm inclined to agree. He was a. I remember against the Rockets, he got busy. I believe.
He was just, and then we just sat him and he never got up again. I'm like, they started him in that, I think it was the first game of the season. They started him at point guard. I'm like, where'd this come from? All of a sudden,
you got to remember, the older you are as a rookie, the lesser leash you had, especially at that point in time in the league. Like teams will give a 19-year-old rookie as many chances as they can. You screw up as a
You know-
22-year-old rookie, you might be out the league.
You know what's crazy about that is I thought it was going to change because of how much you pay rookies these days, that it wasn't going to lean so much towards that younger guy that you got to pay so much money to.
When I say back then, I mean like 4 or 5 years ago. Now teams are drafting older rookies.
Yeah. I think maybe it did change, I guess. You know,
it changed because of the restrictions with the CBA, and you need to have guys that come out the league immediately. Like teams are not drafting. Teams are not drafting high ceiling anymore outside of the lottery. Like outside of the lottery, like you get anywhere between 12 to 25. Teams are going with that high floor guy, like a Dalton Connect, for example, or a Jaime Jaquez that can come in. And even though they played 4 years in college, they have such a high floor. They're going to a team that wants to compete right now. They ain't got time to develop.
Right.
And that's what teams are looking for, especially teams that are going to the playoffs. And and Alonzo Trier would have probably gotten drafted in this scape of the NBA instead of gone undrafted. But he was 22 when he got drafted, or undrafted when he went undrafted. It's just hard to find a place in the league in that era of the NBA as an older rookie.
Yeah.
So all right. So who else are there any other wings? I found Brandon Boston. You guys got to find one too. I mean, who y'all got? Who y'all bringing to the table?
I said Javonte Green. It's not the sexy choice,
but he's solid.
My choice is Malcolm Dadier.
I agree with you, Freezie, but
and not in this sense though. What Ivory 10 is talking. Merely
just a big wing that's going to go in there and defend
and defend. That's it. Big wing going in to defend. That's it. Man, Landry Shamet
sit
right
in the
now
corner, wait for a three and shoot it.
Landry Shamet's shooting 31%, bro.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm telling you, he's got one. I'm telling you, he's got 2 games left. He's got to the All-Star break.
I mean, he had a good game the night before.
He had one good game since he's been a Knick.
In a blowout.
Right. At home.
At home. It happened. Well, I'll say this. He had like 9 points in that first quarter.
That's it. And then he went cold and went back to being Landry Shamet.
I mean, but if we're talking about just bench 3-point shooters, that's all you ask of them. Like, ain't nobody asking Sam Hauser to take step back threes.
No.
But it's about what we need, right? I mean, these aren't just normal bench. We're a championship contending team.
I think,
and we're going to contend this year.
I think we need a designated high volume 3-point shooter. Period. Landry was supposed to.
You need a Buddy Hield. You need a Buddy Hield.
See, I don't think we need that. I don't think we need that because I think we have enough good 3-point shooting that when we move the ball, we have enough good guys who can knock it down.
But there's good 3-point shooting, and then there's quick trigger Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, of course.
Something that we're missing. We're missing a quick trigger player.
We're not really missing that. I don't think we need that. I think we really need. I think more than that need. I think is the need to have someone who can slash and get to the foul line and
I'll
get
push back on that. The reason why we need a quick trigger is because when teams go to switching defenses, we don't even take threes. Like when we played against the Houston Rockets, they switched everything. We didn't even put up threes. There was a game we only took 22 threes in a whole game.
You got to run a better offense than to just say, "Hey, we need a quick trigger guy who's."
Well, that's part of it.
That's not what he's saying, though. It's a
part of
context
it.
to it.
But
the quick trigger 3-point thing is not a come out of after the tip. We just chucking up threes and we want to take 67 threes a game. Now it's when your offense is cycling through, your rotation starts, guys off the bench that are going to be playing some minutes with starters, most minutes with the bench. You want a guy that's going to be able to keep your lead where it's at, for one. And if you're at a deficit, not let that deficit grow. Because ultimately, regardless who you have coming off the bench, your starters are tasked to win the game. That's why they start.
Right.
And that's why
would you rely on a scorer to do what you just said, or would you rely on a 3-point threat to do what you said on a daily basis, on an everyday.
Ultimately, what I'm saying to you, and that's a great question, and I'm glad you phrased it that way. Ultimately, what I'm saying is I agree with both you and Dre. Right now, the only thing is with me agreeing. The only setback is that player might be two players in the context that I stated it at. Right. And we're not going to trade. We're not going to acquire two guys and add two players to a rotation.
Right.
Right. The Tibbs is never going to do that. Right. That's why when you asked the question initially, when you're talking to AD, I knew it was a difficult question because it is a situation where you're asking for a starter level guy to come off the bench and for him to be cheap and for him to buy into his role with the Knicks. And that's why the question is difficult, not because it was a bad question. It just means the search for said player is difficult.
Yeah, the parameters for that player is just it's microscopic at that point.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I never, when you mentioned it, I never thought it was a bad take. I was just like, damn.
It's like a guy like a bucket. You can find looking for a bucket. You can find them, but they're probably gonna make something that's out of our price range.
Right.
Like Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can aggregate some of that scoring with a quick trigger shooter,
right,
from time to time, which is why guys like Campaign and Deuce have the ultimate green light to take his money, because we're trying to do that in the aggregate,
right,
rather than trying to do it with one guy that can clear out a side and get you 3-4 buckets in a row.
And Dre's
From
right.
two, we're trying to be like, yo, you can get that same 8 points. Or that you can get that same 12 points with 4 threes.
I know. I hear you. I just feel like when we rely so much on that three, that's what the team is already doing. The team is already taking good amount of threes, and
they aren't actually. They're below league average.
Yeah, we're 16th in the NBA in threes.
Right, we're average. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of the back, but we're taking threes within the offense. This offense is not built like that. This offense is not built to take a ton of threes. When I see us run, I'm excited because this team just doesn't move like that. With the way our offense is, I just don't think that's conducive to what we do. That I know DiVincenzo got busy last year, but we've never seen it again or since then. We haven't seen it before then or even after.
Yeah, and we didn't get rid of Devo, by the way. We wanted him to stay.
Right. We did.
Yeah, we want him to stay. But to Dre's point, though, about the aggregate, the reason why it looks so weird is because on those nights that Deuce's shot is not going and Landry Shamet is not shooting, the aggregate is Cameron Payne.
Right.
And that's why this shit looks strange. Right? You're like, damn.
And that's why it's so
is our bucket get off the bench?
And that's why it's so inconsistent. Right?
Yeah.
But
it's not inconsistent in shot making, right? I mean, I'm sorry, it's not inconsistent in shot attempts. It's inconsistent in shot making because Cameron Payne is not a consistent scorer off the bench.
Right, and neither is Deuce. And Deuce is a legitimate 3-point shooter. He's been shooting solid. He's a solid shooter, but that's not the answer either when it comes to scoring off the bench.
But even then, when a guy comes in and gives you 18 points in like 5 minutes, and then he doesn't play in the second half, some of that is just not even. It's just the coach not even playing guys. Like, bro, we saw Campaign go crazy for 5 minutes.
Right,
but he didn't play the rest of the game.
Because but you know what? As much as I think that's crazy, and I agree with you, we've all seen Campaign go from hot to flat out cold in a shot, right? In 2 shots, just like Shamet. These dudes. That's what I'm saying. When you rely on 3-point shooting, if they're not hot, then they're not, and it's not. It doesn't work. So if you have that slasher, that scorer, that dude that is not necessarily a starter quality level. I don't think Brandon Boston's starter quality at this point. But he's showing that he's getting to that level. Like he's showing he's a solid bench contributor right now. and he's cheap, right? So that's where he's coming from.
I think the guy you're talking about though is not Brandon Boston.
But
I think the guy you're talking about is Tyler Hero.
he's another dude. Well, he's a very
star.
expensive. He's a much
He
more
might be an
established
all-star.
option than that. He's a much more established option.
And I'm naming names to the archetype that was.
Oh, that's the style
outlined.
of player.
Yeah,
So he's a flat out scorer. He can shoot, but Tyler Hero can score
and he could play make also.
and play make. Yeah, he's a baller.
Play make
He's
with multiple bodies because we've seen what Miami's rosters look like in the backcourt the last 5 years. Right? Tyler Hero adjusts to all those dudes, bro. Still get his point.
He's a baller. I think he's probably more talented than a guy we can find right now.
Right. Yeah. And I understand what you're saying. I think though, ultimately what they're gonna do is see if they can find something super reliable, and then basically they're gonna ride a donut until the offseason and then get the tire changed. That's what I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna
target something that they really want, or either try to draft it.
Yep. I think that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna
or develop Pacom Dadier into
and Kev McCullough. Kev McCullough's a hooper. Yeah. Kev McCullough's a hooper.
I think
legit, Kev McCullough would have been a first round pick in this draft if he wasn't injured.
I think Pacom Dadier might be the guy that you're looking for. He's just not ready yet.
Yeah, he ain't ready. No, ready.
He's BJ Boston 3 years ago. That's all.
Maybe.
Maybe, but he weighs more than BJ Boston does right now.
Right. What about what do you? I have an answer for you. What about Ben Mathurin?
You can't get him.
I would love him, but
why not?
You can't get him. They value him too much.
They was benching that. He just started starting. He was a bench player for a year and a half.
They're gonna want Josh Hart for him.
Oh, they can go to him.
But that's what I'm saying. They gonna and that's probably a fair trade.
Oh, you think highly of Ben Mathurin?
Oh, I do.
Ben Mathurin got talent.
Yeah, man, I do. I think Ben Mathurin's a baller. I think
he has 20-point per game talent eventually.
Who do you think is him or Cam Thomas?
I take Ben Mathurin because he grades out as someone that can be a very good defender physically. He has the physical tools. Yeah. I don't know if he wants to lock in all the way yet, though.
Yeah,
but he's a hell of a competitor too.
When I look at Mathurin's floor is like a good 6 man as a 6 man. That a solid 6 man. That's his floor, I think.
I think at his worst he'll be Karis LeVert. At his worst.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know what he'll be at his best though.
At his best, he might be a 22, 23 point per game guy.
I think him. I think. See, I'll make you laugh. I think the perfect trade in the NBA right now is Mathurin for Grady Dick, right? And you put Quickly, Orange, and Mathurin's Canadian too, by the way. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Quickly, RJ, Mathurin, and the overrated dude that they him. Yeah,
Mathurin reminds me of Brandon Roy from back in the day, just like smooth. Smooth.
Hey, Freezie, would you trade for Ochai Agbaji?
No.
Okay.
Because the price would be too high. I like him though.
Anybody on Utah, right, is going to be.
Yeah,
he's on the Raptors now.
He's on. He got traded.
Yeah,
he's in Toronto. Yeah. Yeah, I would love. They moved him. I think he was originally drafted by Cleveland and then moved somehow to Utah and then moved somehow to Toronto.
The Donovan Mitchell trade. The Donovan Mitchell deal.
That long ago?
Dang, man.
It was a draft day. I think it was a draft day.
Well, how did he get to Toronto?
Then they traded him with Kelly Olynyk to Toronto.
That's right.
That's what? Right. I forgot, but that's what happened.
And then they gave Kelly Olynyk like a 4-year deal or something, right?
I think he's expiring.
Who did they give a 4-year deal to? Oh, the center. Pirtle.
Yeah, Jakob Pirtle.
Yeah, yeah.
They gave him 4 years, like 80 million, something like
I
that.
wouldn't trade for Agbaji just because, like, in this draft, I think there's going to be like 10 of them
Like 5 Agbanjis just chilling,
just
waiting to get
chilling.
plucked.
Like you pick whichever one you want, and no disrespect to him because he is that classic late first round pick shooting guard wing that'll be in the league a long time, around 14, 15 points a year. Maybe one year make the all-star team when he get up to about 20, 22 points, and then just be Aaron Aflalo.
Yeah.
Aaron Aflalo type. What's the other guard that was after Aaron Aflalo?
For the Knicks?
Courtney Lee.
Courtney Lee was
Lee. And then
I think he was before. I think it was before.
Was he before?
He
may have been.
Whenever we had the Grant brother.
He'll be, I think he'll be because he's built like Bill Walker. You remember Bill Walker?
Henry Walker?
Henry, yeah. 6'6", 220.
No knees.
No knees. He was a superior athlete before he started getting all those knee injuries.
You still could yam it with no knees somehow.
You know who we played in college with?
I know. Don't say it. Michael Beasley.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah. So there it is, right there. I mean, what can you do?
I understand. Like we need a straight bucket off the bench.
I'm just worried that come playoff time, they're going to be pressuring Brunson, bringing up the ball. We're going to have 15 seconds on the shot clock by the time we get into our offense. They take Brunson out of the offense. We're going to have someone else trying to create something, a turnover. It could just get ugly if we don't.
You talking about rinse and repeat? You talking about rinse and repeat?
but
you talking about the same thing you saw?
I don't want to see it again. And listen,
pushback.
Hart was there. Hart was there, and Hart wasn't good enough to really handle that pressure.
Here's my pushback on that. Mikal Bridges was in there. OG wasn't there for a lot of it.
OG can't dribble. Let's not even bring up his name.
It has nothing to do with dribbling.
OG can't dribble unless he falls on the ground.
It has nothing to do with dribbling. You're talking about you can't pressure Brunson the same way with the adequate talent on the court. You try to trap Brunson the entire time. Mikal Bridges is literally on the way to breaking the record for most corner three.
When you take the ball out of Brunson's hands enough, it can cause problems on the offense on this team, and I think they're going to do it time and time again. I'm a little. Listen, I hope that my worries are
not valid.
I hope so.
Right.
But I've seen this team struggle
to do that anyway with lesser talent, and he averaged 30 the entire playoff run.
It's not about how well. It's about who else we can rely on to do something other than him.
But that's the thing. Jalen Brunson had the 6 straight 40-point games.
Four straight.
But 6 straight? Was it 4 straight?
4. It was 4.
4 straight 40-point game. But the 2 games before that, he looked like dog crap.
And we won them anyway.
And we won because of Dante DiVincenzo, the big scoring guard that could do like what Ivory was saying.
But he was a volume 3-point shooter. He wasn't killing you in the mid-range or going to the rim. He was dominating off shooting a ton of threes.
But we had a bench scorer regardless. We had a guy who could do it.
Talking about scoring. We didn't care how the ball got in the bucket, bro.
But
because think about you remember the game that Dante hit the clutch game winner? Remember the clutch game winner Dante hit? You remember how bad Jalen Brunson looked in that game too? As a matter of fact, when Tyrese Maxey lost that ball, Jalen Brunson bobbled it. Josh Hart had to grab it, right? And kick it to Jalen Brunson for 3, and Brunson choked a back iron 3. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Brunson's a choker. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about in that moment, Jalen Brunson was shaky. In that moment, right, Brunson fans, before y'all start sending me beehive messages to my house, right? In that moment, Jalen Brunson looked shaky. If it was not for Dante's 3 there to bail us out, bro, we might have lost that game. And then also that game 3, Dre, you remember the game 3? Me and you were asking, like, what is Mitchell Robinson doing on the floor? Remember that? It was a game. You remember the game 3 where Mitchell Robinson fouled Tyrese Maxey, gave him the 3 free throws?
Oh yeah.
And then we come down and miss a 3, and then Maxey comes down and hit the logo 3. Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
Tibbs, just do what Ivory 10 says. Right, Leon Rose, just listen to Ivory 10. Go get the guy Ivory 10 want, and we won't have this issue. I'm with you on it. And listen, I really want to be against you for saying that.
And let me tell you, Dre, if DiVincenzo was out there making $500,000, I'd say go get DiVincenzo. That's fine. I have no problem.
If we could get him, yeah.
But I think it's going to be just as hard, probably much harder to find a 3-point shooter that's that takes 7 a game and makes 4 of them. I think it's harder to find him right now than it's going to be to find.
Oh, you talking about a 57% 3-point shooter off the bench?
I would take one that makes 3 out of 7.
Yeah.
Right. I'm telling you, that's going to be hard to find too.
Yeah.
I'd take one that makes 3 out of 8.
But remember, just having a shooter out there is not going to be enough. We saw that dude Ryan, whatever. He couldn't do anything.
Matt Ryan is
Matt Ryan is not an NBA
You need
player.
more skills than that out there. And right now, I think the thing we're lacking on that bench is really that dude is someone who can dribble, pass, and shoot. Instead of having 3 guys who would dribble, one that can dribble, one that can pass, and one that can shoot, maybe having one guy that can do all 3 would be kind of nice.
That's what your second unit is. One guy that can dribble, one guy that can pass, and one guy
that's most team second units right now. I think we're just an extremely top-heavy built team. And if you're trying to get like a premium bench player, it'll be hard to do that when you're paying your starting lineup that much money.
See, yeah, because ideally that player you're talking about is Isaiah Joe, right? But why would OKC give up Isaiah Joe?
They already paid him.
Right. Yeah. That's
like
at
like
or why would Detroit give us Malik Beasley?
No reason.
You feel me? So in that same group is Buddy Hield. So if you're the Knicks and you see it, why not just go get Buddy, man? Golden State probably wants the roster spot more than they want Buddy.
But
I think you can send them draft picks, bro.
But it's going to be very difficult for them to play Buddy, Cam, and Deuce. I mean, and maybe one of them has to go in that trade or something. I don't know, but
Shaman is the one now to be replaced.
Yeah, but you can't play all 3 of those guys. You can't play Buddy, Cam, and Deuce together. No, you can't play those 3.
You can't play Shaman with those 2 either.
Shaman is probably actually a decent defender.
Shaman moves. At least he's active. He's definitely active out there. I just, he's just not bringing any value. He's just not bringing anything really,
It's just the 3-point shot isn't going in right now.
Listen,
but when it does go in, it's like a big boom. Like it feels like in the rare times he does make shots, it feels like 4-point shots at that point.
You talking about this year, because that dude's not even a 40% 3-point. That dude's like 37% for career.
I'm not talking about percentages. I'm just talking about when he actually makes a shot.
Landry Shaman is a poser, bro. He looked the part, but
he's like a 37-38 guy.
Yeah.
Which is still very good on high volume. It's just not elite. It's just good.
Yes, yeah, he all right. Yo, let me run, man. I need to get out of here, man, so I can do the Knicks morning drive in 3 hours.
Peace.
The Knicks morning drive in like 4 hours, as a matter of fact. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. Rocking
good night, fellas. Good seeing you guys. Good talking to you, fellas.
Coming your way.
Hey, we want to see the fro again at some point. You know what I'm saying?
And we did, Ivory Tennant here defending Mitch to the end.